Hello, everybody. I'm Grant Fluff from Flusher Sports Zone, and welcome back to another broadcast here on the channel. Tonight, we have Week 2 of the 2022-23 preseason between the Chicago Bears and the Seattle Seahawks. Should be hopefully an entertaining game, although, of course, this is preseason. We're not going to see much at Justin Fields. And we're probably not going to see a whole lot of guys like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. But regardless, we are here. It is, I guess, technically Thursday night football, although I say that with air quotes because obviously we're about 24 days away from real Thursday night football. The season opener, the Buffalo Bills versus the Los Angeles Rams. But because this is potentially, and honestly most likely, my final NFL play-by-play broadcast before I head off to college, I'm having 3 special guests on tonight. Sam Prince, Samuel Reese, and Isaac Edelman. And they should be heading on, well, at least our first guest, Sam Prince, should be coming on in about hopefully 50 minutes to an hour. And then we'll have about Sam Reese on for about a half hour after that. And then we'll end the night off with Isaac. And then probably at around 10:30, the game will probably be in the fourth quarter. And then obviously we'll just call the game until the end here. But just some pregame notes for you. So the Seahawks lost 32-25 over the Steelers in week 1 of the preseason, and the Bears defeated the Chiefs in week 1 of the preseason at home. So Bears playing their first road game, Seahawks playing their first home. And we are going to see a lot out of Geno Smith tonight. He is expected to play into the third quarter as, you'll never guess it, Drew Lock tested positive for COVID-19. After Drew Lock threw 2 touchdowns last week against the Steelers, Pete Carroll announced on Tuesday that he was going to start this game against the Bears. 3 hours after being announced the starter, it was then announced he tested positive for COVID. He can't be around the team for 5 days. Since Tuesday to Thursday is, of course, only 2 days. He's missing tonight's game. I cannot explain how close this Seahawks quarterback competition is and how unlucky Drew Lock is not being able to shine. I'm going to be honest with you. I have not seen much Geno Smith highlights this offseason. I have seen a lot of Drew Lock highlights this offseason. And I think the majority of the 12s want Drew Lock as their starting quarterback. But, of course, if Geno Smith does play into the third quarter, we're not going to obviously see Drew Lock. Jacob Easton's going to close out the game for the Seahawks. And just unfortunate luck there for Drew Lock. But he should be back next week, and then he shouldn't have to deal with COVID for another 2 to 3 months, meaning, well, he's at least fine until November. Let's put it that way. As for the Bears, the brand new head coach, former Colts defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. That's going to take a little bit to get used to saying that name. But he is 1-0. You're going to see Justin Fields in this first quarter. The Bears are still without newly acquired wide receiver N'Keal Harry. He's out 7 more weeks after undergoing tightrope surgery last Thursday, meaning he won't return until probably around week 4, week 5 of the regular season. And again, we will get into this preseason game. We'll have some special guests on. This won't be my last YouTube video before I head off to college, but like I mentioned, there's a very good chance with me being busy the rest of this weekend and next weekend, it will be my last NFL broadcast before I head off. And then maybe beforehand, maybe not, I'm not sure, but the next potential NFL broadcast, I hate to say it, but it'll probably be on Thanksgiving. Hopefully, I can do one or two before then, but no promises. Anyway, we have the former Jacksonville Jaguar and former Jacksonville Jaguar and New York Jet heading into his fourth year on the Seattle Seahawks. That is kicker Jason Myers, ready to kick it off to, it looks like that is Velus Jones Jr., and we are ready to get things underway in Seattle. Far from a sellout crowd, but it will be a sellout crowd when Russell Wilson comes back to town Week 1 on Monday night. Kickoff is returned by Jones from the 1, and he will return all the way to the 29, and then he fumbles. It looks like the Bears recovered the fumble, but that is one way how to not make the roster in a couple of weeks. Justin Fields, a rookie quarterback from last season, he threw quite a few touchdowns, a couple of rushing touchdowns, including a highlight reel one against San Francisco, but he also took a lot of sacks, a lot of them. And he had a very up and down rookie season, was able to cover at least one of his games, I do recall, the Monday night game against Minnesota back in Week 15. I was on the call for that game, and I'm trying to think if I did any other Bears games last year other than just maybe commentating Red Zone. I don't think I did. But yes, it will be Bear ball. The officials do confirm. Look at that forced fumble, though. Helmet down, and nice play by number 27 there of Seattle. Special teams duties. That's the strong safety, Marquise Blair, hanging in his third season. 1st and 10, they fake it to Khalil Herbert. And the pass is caught by Cole Kmet, and Kmet, the second-year tight end at Notre Dame, gets 11. So the play-action throw to the left works for Fields. Last season, 7 passing touchdowns to 10 picks. 155.8 passing yards a game on average, and a 59% completion rate. Significantly better than if you did nothing but spike the ball into the ground on every single play, but still far from fantastic. But again, a rookie behind a Matt Nagy-led offense, yeah, that's not going to do too great. Fields throws, and that's incomplete. Out of bounds for Kmet again, and it's 2nd down and 10 on the coverage. There was the other strong safety, Josh Jones. Take a look at the Bears' offense last season. Points per game ranked 27th. Yards per game ranked 24th. Sacks allowed 58. That's last in TD margin. Negative 13, ranked 29th at a 32nd. They put Kmet in motion. Under center, it's Fields. 1st and 10. The second-year running back, Khalil Herbert, gets the carry. Up the middle he goes, all the way down to the 49-yard line, and the pile will push him to the 50. So the Bears already at midfield after 4 plays. Take a look again here on the replay. Nice under center snap there by Fields. And the Bears' offensive line wasn't fantastic last season. They had left tackle Jason Peters. They signed on a 1-year deal. They did not bring him back. They did bring in Riley Reif, right tackle from the Bengals. They signed him about a month ago. Darnell Mooney in motion. The Bears' offense last season, lowest in the league on 3rd down conversions at 35%. Fields almost trips over his own teammate, lunges forward, and is sacked. Ball comes out, but the referee downs Fields at the 49s. Although Seattle is pleading they have the football, they just don't. 4th and 4 coming up. And Fields already taking a beating on the first couple of plays here. This is not a good way to introduce your franchise quarterback to year number 2. Let's see. Yeah, he tries to lunge forward. They're actually going to mark it 4th and 2. Ooh, and then Fields, someone's cleat kicks him at the top of the helmet. Scary moment there. I want to say that was Ben Burr-Kirven. But anyway, there is a flag on 4th and 2 right after the snap, and we will see what this is on. If it's on Seattle, it's a 1st down. If it's the Bears, we're looking at likely a 4th and 7. Sean Smith, the referee, and the flag is against the Seahawks. So automatic first down for the Bears. And it looks like the guilty party will be number 52 there for the Seahawks. About 85 men on each of these rosters. Of course, way larger than the 53, and there's way more rookies and practice squad players. So if I am referring to my roster quite a bit, pardon that. Nice play fake by Fields. He rolls out to the left, pumps, throws. Herbert caught at the 40 before he is downed by May. And it's going to be about 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Chicago Bears as we approach the 3-minute mark of this first quarter. Getting underway in preseason week number 2. The Raiders beat the Jaguars in the Hall of Fame game. And week 1, a success for the Bears. I would say a success for the Seahawks too, despite the loss. And now we get 2nd down and 6, officially 3 minutes in. Under center, Fields fakes it to Herbert. He's going to launch one, and it's caught by Kmet all the way down to the 21, where he is brought down. Number 48 for Seattle there getting the tackle. That is Joel Dublenko getting the tackle, and it will be 1st and 10, a yard shy of the red zone for Chicago. Nice play-action pass. That's what Fields needs. A clean, well, he wasn't in the pocket, but just no one pressure him within 2 seconds of the snap. I think that's the key. Offensive pocket presence is the key to help Fields succeed in this year 2. Fields so far 3 for 4 for 35 yards. 2 catches going to Kmet. The other going to Herbert. They fake it to Herbert. Throw the bubble screen. Mooney with a juke and a spin all the way down to the 16. Darnell Mooney. A juke and a spin. Allen Robinson with the Rams. So it is the Darnell Mooney show. Heading into year 3, will be the wide receiver 1. Last year, all career highs. 81 catches for 1,055 yards and 4 touchdowns. Seahawks will substitute on defense heading into the game. Number 95, defensive tackle Miles Adams. Here's the snap. They play fake. Fields pump fakes. And now he'll run, pointing, directing traffic back of the end zone for Mooney. It bounces off his left hand and out of bounds. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Bears. And there's a late flag on that one. Let's take a look at what the flag is here. Looks like it's going to be against Chicago. And it will be. Penalty has been declined, and it will be 3rd down. An eligible man downfield. They're going to call Larry Borum, the right guard, on that one. Penalty has been declined, and he'll stay 3rd down. Instead of replaying 2nd down, I would do the same there if I was the Seahawks. 3rd and 4. Ball placed at the 16. Fields in shotgun. Herbert to his left. Top of the screen in motion. That was Jones Jr. The pass is caught by Herbert, but he is brought down 2 yards back of the line of scrimmage. Josh Jones with the tackle, and it'll be 4th and about 6, and I'd imagine we'd see a field goal. What's up, Isaac? Thanks for stopping by in the chat. Can't wait to have you on later tonight. Yeah, Herbert made the catch out of the backfield, but stopped instantly by Josh Jones. Pretty sure he used to play in the Jaguars, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, 4th and 6, we had a 35-yard field goal by Kari Santos. He went 26 for 30 last year, with the season long being 47. This one from 35, and the former Kansas City Chief drills it home. It is 3-0 Bears. 9:34 to go, first quarter, and now we'll get to see the Geno Smith-led Seahawks. So the Bears take a 3-0 lead on the road. Of course, you can watch this game live on ESPN. Yeah, guys, as I mentioned, we're going to have Sam Prince on tonight at 9 o'clock, or around 9 o'clock, and then we'll have Sam Reese on at around 9:30, 9:40, and then Isaac will be coming on around 10 o'clock. 3 special guests for potentially the last NFL broadcast before I head off to college. And again, maybe there'll be one more recent or, before Thanksgiving. But right now, based off of what I'm looking at in my upcoming schedule, it's looking like the 8 o'clock game for Thanksgiving will be the next time I try to broadcast a game. Unless I'm blanking on something and I'm going to be off a weekend before then maybe not. But, yeah. I'll still try to, I don't really know if I'm going to try to make videos in college. I'll probably just, any sports games I cover, I'll probably just try to, not do vlogs, but I don't know, kind of update you on that stuff. Yeah, that's right, Isaac. You get the honor to, you get to be the closing act. Yeah, I'm excited though to have Sam Prince on the show. Of course, he was at the NFL draft. He announced the Giants' number 5 overall selection this past year in Las Vegas. Yeah, I've been wanting to have him on the channel for a long time, 6-7 months, and finally, we're getting him on. So that's going to be exciting. And then, of course, if you guys are long subscribers of the channel, you probably know Sam, Reese, and Isaac, but. They've been on for Super Bowl pregame shows, all that stuff. And, of course, I've done some post-game news for Florida teams. I remember at the end of the regular season last year, I got to talk about the Jaguars getting absolutely dismantled 50-10 to the Patriots. I commentated that game, then went on Florida teams for the post-game. And then I also went up for the post game the following week when the Dolphins beat the Patriots. And the Patriots got worse seed in the playoffs and got destroyed by the Bills the following week in the wild card round. Anyway, back at commercial break. A lot of Russell Wilson jerseys in the crowd here. Yeah, I don't know how many Geno Smith or Drew Lock jerseys have been sold yet. That's a touchback. All the way up to the 25. And here comes Geno Smith. 3rd year with the Seahawks, and we have a sign. A Seahawks fan wants Jimmy Garoppolo to come to town. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what San Francisco is gonna do with Jimmy Garoppolo, but I do agree Garoppolo's significantly better than both Smith and Luck, and definitely playing the 49ers twice a year. He may not be a bad quarterback to pick up. What's up to Evil of Hope? Thanks for stopping by. Geno Smith, 4th season with the Seahawks. Drafted in the 2nd round with the Jets out of 2013 draft. That's a flag. And it looks like Seattle's going to be backed up 5. Take a look at Geno Smith again. Drew Lock not active tonight for COVID. So it is Smith and former Colts quarterback Jacob Eason as the 2. Seattle decided to not sign a 3rd QB. Geno Smith heading in to year number 9 of his NFL career. He's only completed 592 passes, 6,917 yards, 34 touchdowns to 34 interceptions with a QB rating of about 75.7. So again, not the most ideal career for Geno Smith, especially after being a 2nd-round pick and having a pretty solid rookie year for the Jets, considering they went 8-8 that year. But 2nd and 8, we'll see what he does here. He played sparingly last season, played in 4 games, started in 3. Smith throws the halfback screen to Travis Homer, and Homer will go out to the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down coming up. Travis Homer, 3rd-year running back out of Miami. He scored his first career kick return touchdown last season against San Francisco back in Week 14, and a huge part as to why Seattle won that game. It's a 3rd and 5, and it looks like we have an injury timeout, as that's the Bears linebacker Matthew Adams coming over from the Indianapolis Colts, being helped off the field. He's walking off his own power, though. So it'll be 3rd and 5 here with 8:50 to go. Geno Smith looking to break over 7,000, probably over 8,000 passing yards, all said and done. And maybe get some more touchdowns and interceptions thrown in his career. And hey, what happens, happens. By the way, Roquan Smith, he requested a trade from the Bears last week, and nothing has happened yet. The contract talks have still been silent, and so have the trade rumors. Geno Smith on 3rd and 5. Long drop back, fires it down the middle off the hands of number 18. I believe that's Penny Hart. It is actually Freddie Swan. Penny Hart wears number 19. And it is going to be 4th and 5, and we'll see a Michael Dixon punt. Yeah, I mean, especially when you were a wide receiver 4 or 5 last year, that's a play you got to come up with. The throw was a little high, however, well inside the reach of Freddie Swaim, and he drops it. Sylvius Jones to return the punt from Dixon. He had the iconic double punt in Week 5 against the Rams last year, and this punt will roll out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Of course, it doesn't count towards anything on the stat sheet, but pretty good punt by Dixon nonetheless. He signed a 4-year contract, not this offseason, but last offseason. So his job is not in jeopardy. All right, now in our second commercial break, I think the Browns could pick up Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe. I mean, yep, that's right. Deshaun Watson now on the 11 games suspension instead of, 6? We'll be talking about that. Actually, while I was making my notes for this game, which is how I know like Geno Smith statistics and all that stuff, I actually spent about an hour of research before this broadcast getting all my notes done. And I actually, for the first time ever, instead of just saying, hey, we're going to go on Instagram and just recap all the sports news I posted, I actually created a halftime template. So first things first, we're going to talk about basically how I think Noah Fant's going to do on the Seahawks, the starting tight end. Veteran Pat O'Donnell leaving the Bears for the Packers. Deshaun Watson's 11-game suspensions, of course, on there. The Patriots and Panthers fight during joint practice back-to-back days, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we ended off with some hockey news. Nazem Kadri signed with the Calgary Flames today, a 7-year, $7 million per year contract, which led to Sean Monahan getting dealt to the Montreal Canadiens. So we're going to talk about some football and hockey during the halftime show. And if not, I'll probably talk about Derwin James and, of course, basketball news. LeBron James re-signing a $97.2 million contract yesterday. So we'll talk about Derwin James and LeBron James if we have time. But, I mean, hopefully we should have one of the two Sams on by that point. So, yeah. But just wanted to share, I have my first, official halftime sheet. I know, but 11 games for Watson. Listen, Jacoby Brissett is not bad, but are you really going to roll with Jacoby Brissett? That's the thing. Is Jacoby Brissett bad? No, he's a quality backup. That's the thing, backup. If Deshaun Watson was only suspended for 4 games, 6 games, then having a guy like Jacoby Brissett doesn't really matter. If you're a borderline playoff team like Cleveland is and you have Jacoby Brissett as your starting quarterback, it's not really going to benefit. Plus, we don't know what's going on with Kareem Hunt. He requested a trade. He could be losing another weapon. We don't know how Amari Cooper's going to work in the system. I mean, yeah, you can feed Nick Chubb the ball 30 times a game, but, I don't know what that's going to get you. Then the team's just got to know the run's coming. So I could see Garoppolo getting dealt to Cleveland. I wouldn't be shocked. Here's a handoff and a gain of 2. That is Tristan Ebner getting the carry. So the Seahawks, we know Russell Wilson departed. Drew Lock, Noah Fant coming back from the Wilson trade. But Bobby Wagner, who leads the franchise with over 1,300 tackles, he got released. And guess who picked him up? The division rival Rams. So, despite trading Wilson to the AFC, Wagner staying not just in the NFC, but in the NFC West. Inside handoff, second carry. And a gain of 3, maybe 2 for Ebner. Actually, probably 2 yards for Ebner there, and it's going to be 3rd down and 6. Pete Carroll, 71 years old. 1 year older than Bill Belichick for oldest coach in the league. See him there doing his usual chewing his gum. Is 3rd down and 6 with 7:20 and counting to go here in this first quarter. Crowd picking up a little bit here. They're going to put the former Jaguar tight end James O'Shaughnessy in motion. They fake the inside handoff. They do inside handoff, and it's a 1st down run. Needed 6. Got 8. It's Ebner on the carry. And I should also mention, not only we have a running back change, we have a quarterback change. Trevor Siemian coming in the game for the Bears, who signed a 2-year contract with Chicago back on March 28th. Signed 2. March 25th. And last week against Kansas City, he went 7 for 13, 89 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, had 121.5 passer rating. 4th straight run and a gain of 3 for the rookie Ebner. So Ebner getting 4 straight carries right out of the gate. That time he was brought down by Ushana Nwosu. That name sounds very familiar. Either he or a relative of him played on the Chargers. Anyway, we have a Chicago Bear lineman down, and they're checking out on his ankle. That is number 60, the guard, Dieter Eslin. And so we have our second Bear down. Matthew Adams was the first one. 2020 undrafted free agent at Yale, 6'4", 320. And he's running off the field, rather jogging off the field on his own power. So it looks like he's going to be all right. He'll probably be back in a couple plays, especially undrafted free agent. You gotta kind of not necessarily play through a serious injury. Like you have a torn ACL or whatever, you can't play through it. But if you do have a small injury, you got to play through it. You really have to, because come 53-man roster day, if you don't even make it to the practice squad, you're in free agency. And especially for a guy who's not drafted, for a lineman who probably doesn't have much film, you're out of luck if you don't get signed anytime soon. Here's Siemian, 1st and 10 in shotgun. Siemian down the middle, passes caught. O'Shaughnessy, a gain of 14. So O'Shaughnessy, man, what a crazy statistic this is for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Heading into 2021, Josh Lambo, Miles Jack, and James O'Shaughnessy, the last 3 Jaguar players from their 2017 AFC Championship game appearance against the Patriots. Lambo got released after the whole Urban Meyer situation. Miles Jack signed with the Steelers, and I believe it was in May or June, James O'Shaughnessy signed with the Bears. That pass off the fingertips of Jones and incomplete, threw it to the left-hand side, 2nd and 10. And talking about the Seahawks here, they made a surprising trade earlier in the week. They traded cornerback Ugo Umadi to the Philadelphia Eagles for tight end J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. A 1-for-1 swap, average second-string tight end for an average second-string corner. Actually, probably rather third-string corner. Is that carry there by Ebner is brought down at the line of scrimmage by Darrell Taylor. It's going to be 3rd down and 10 coming up. Take a look at Jaquil Woolen. 4.26 40-yard dash at the combine this year. Fastest by corner since 2006. We'll try to make a roster spot wearing 39. He's covering the backup running back, Darnton Evans, on 3rd and 10. Siemian drops back, rolls out to the left, a shuffle pass, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Evans makes the catch. And there is a flag. Well, a shuffle pass by Siemian on the run. Not a bad play. We do have a penalty. It's holding against the Bears. Seattle will obviously decline, and a punt's coming up. Gonna pull the penalty there on number 72. That is Sean Coleman, the left tackle. So Darrington Evans playing his first snaps tonight for the Bears in his Bear debut last Saturday. 7 rushes for 20 yards. He also had 6 receiving yards. And did not score a touchdown. Here's the rookie punter Trenton Gill. Freddie Swain, the return man for the Seahawks. Nice punt all the way down to the 10-yard line. Swain will run out of bounds at the 15. Of course, Evans being a former Titan running back behind Derrick Henry. And, this Bears running back core, they have 3 really solid running backs. They acquired Evans. They have Khalil Herbert heading into his second year. And, of course, they have, according to NFL players and coaches, the 98th best player in the NFL right now, David Montgomery. You're an undrafted I know. If you're an undrafted free agent, you pretty much have to play through a broken neck. No duh. If you can play through an injury, and basically if the injury won't sideline you for for more than 2 weeks, you got to play through it. It sucks, but at the end of the day, 53 men on the main roster, I think 8 or 10 guys on the practice squad, that's that. You're a free agent. And you have to go through tryouts and everything. And believe me, it's not even a guarantee that you're going to get signed after the tryout. Case in point, Colin Kaepernick earlier this offseason. I guess that's another thing I could have added on to the halftime show. How crazy was that? The Raiders actually gave him a workout. They didn't end up signing him. And no, if Derek Carr goes down with an injury, I don't think they will sign him. But that was crazy. Just a body. Yeah, it's just a body. You can just spend the rest of the season in the hospital. You just got to play through your preseason games if you're a 7th-round pick or undrafted. Simple. The only way you're a rookie, the only way you actually still make a team if you played poorly in the preseason as a rookie is if you're obviously a round 1, round 2, or round 3 pick. 4th or after, and you play a bad preseason, forget it. You're out. You are out the door. And Kaepernick's going to go into the Jaguars. I would cry. I mean, we released Jake Luton. That's a start. Jake Luton's terrible. So you know what? The Jaguars did what they wanted. I wanted them to do, and that was to release their terrible 3rd-string quarterback, in which they did do, but yeah, rough going for the Jaguars because CJ Beathard, I mean, I know he's played football in this league with the 49ers, but he has not been impressive at all this preseason, and he only threw like 3 passes last regular season, so if Trevor Lawrence goes down, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe, Blake Bortles or Gardner Minshew returns. Maybe we trade for some guy like Josh Rosen or whatever. We sign some random quarterback off the free agency list. Just don't let it be Mike Glennon again. Anyway, 1st and 10. Geno Smith under center. You got to make most of this opportunity here. With no Drew Lock, this is a chance for him to shine. Rolls out to the left and he throws it away right as he got hit by one of the Bears linebackers, Nicholas Moreau, the middle linebacker coming over from the Las Vegas Raiders. I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, we are about 15 to 20 minutes away from having our first special guest on the stream, Sam Prince, diehard New York Giant fan. And also part of the, trying to pull up the name of his podcast here so you can go give it a follow on social media. But yeah, Sam Prince, he's going to be awesome. First time we're having him on the channel. Travis Homer, the handoff and a gain of 6. Prince on the pod. Prince on the pod. There we go. Prince on the pod. No, he's interviewed guys like Andrew Thomas, Scooter, the YouTuber Scooter. Scooter, I can never pronounce his last name right. Of course, was at the NFL draft this year. That pass is batted down. 4th and 3. And so the Seahawks back-to-back 3-and-outs. Let's take a look again here. Left tackle not doing its job. Oh, he's almost beat immediately. Gino had to throw. Getting in his face was Travis Gibson. Ouch. And so we get to see Dixon's second punt. So Geno Smith 0 for 3 passing. And here is Jones on a nice punt return from the 50 to the 40. And Jones is brought out of bounds around the 33-yard line. What a nice return there from Jones. He returned it from around the 30. Yeah, Scooter Magruder. That's his name. I can never pronounce his last name unless it's in front of me. Never. But yes, Scooter Magruder. That's exactly who I'm thinking of. It's the guy who makes reaction videos for literally every sport. I also watch him the least out of everybody on the on that podcast with Urinating Tree, Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna, and 5 Points Vids. I watch all 4 of those guys. Scooter's the odd man out. I watch him. I know who he is, but compared to the other 4, not that much. Anyway, Christian Ponder. And off goes up the middle and a gain of 1. That is for, look like number 21 there. For the Bears, that is going to be Evans. Christian Ponder last played with San Francisco in 2016, and he didn't even play a snap with them. He was literally just the backup because Blaine Gabbert got hurt. Yeah. Anyway, 2nd down and 8. Ball placed at the 31. Inside handoff, and Evans ripping off tackles and getting 10. Evans. Nice run. As I mentioned, he had 20 yards last week, and he's probably going to be surpassing that this week. Clickbait Sports, that's the show. I watch it occasionally. The show I watch the most is the one with Grossi and Perna. I'm terrible at remembering the podcast names because there's so many of them. I remember Dumpster Fire's 5 points in Urinating Tree. That's a gain of 6 for Evans. But yeah, no, I watch Clickbait Sports sometimes. More so I watch the YouTubers, but yeah, I tune into the podcast a little bit. I don't know, sometimes if I'm doing nothing around the house and it's a Friday afternoon, right? A Friday afternoon, it's Friday at 11 in the morning. I'll listen to Tom Grossi and Brendan Perna talk about whatever they're talking about. Probably won't be able to watch the show tomorrow, unfortunately, but I try to tune into that a couple times a month. Semi-in empty backfield, 2nd and 4. Passes caught to the left-hand side and a gain of 5. That will be number 84 on the reception for the Bears, even on my roster. That's 82, that's why. Where is this guy? Oh, it's Isaiah Crowder. Former Houston Texan. There we go. All right, so 1st and goal for the Bears. Evans remains the running back. 2 tight ends set with Allen and Tongs. Jones and Webster, the 2 receivers. Semyon, empty backfield, throws a quick pass. Nice spin move. And Webster's thrown down at the 2. Oh, what a tackle by the rookie Woolen. He literally just threw him down. Wow, what a tackle at the 2 they go. That is Nasimba Webster, former kick returner for the Rams. And it'll be 2nd and goal at the 2. What a tackle there. Of course, Woolen's he's in no threat of losing a roster spot, but hey, he's still a rookie and he still wants to show to the league he's legit. The Bears have gotten 105 total yards in this quarter, and they will let the time tick off heading into the second quarter. So we'll head the other way. Second quarter, Bears up 3-0. Second and goal inside the red zone. Smith's had 2 drives, 2 punts. Fields had a drive and a field goal. Simeon's had a drive and a punt, but now he's looking to add on some more points. Oh, that's called the GPS? That's funny. Grossi Perna show. That's funny. They call it the GPS. If you're lost for football news, watch this podcast. Bro, I'll never forget last year when I was commentating the Patriots-Bills game, not the Week 16 game, the Monday night game where it was extremely windy. It was like in the middle of the third quarter. Or no, never mind. I wasn't in the middle of the third quarter. It must have been during halftime. Tom Grossi actually stopped by my stream and, it was, what does he call it? Like the Grossi Posse Raid or whatever it's called. I think it's the Grossi Posse Raid. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, basically, sometimes he'll click on random people's streams. He did that to me during that Patriots-Bills game. And I had 300 viewers at one point. Dude, it was insane. He was like, this kid, he's really excited. He's wearing his Pat McAfee hoodie. This kid seems nice. Go stop by his stream pretty much. And so everyone's stopping by, and I'm just like, did you guys come from Tom Grossi? It was funny. And he was actually surprised because I knew who he was as a YouTuber. He was like, he knows who we are. And then I was like, oh yeah, I watch I've been subscribed to your channel for a while and blah, blah, blah. That was funny. Oh, really? It was Tom Grossi's raid? Dude, that's so funny. I was about to say, I got a lot more regular viewers since the Tom Grossi raid. Also, my subscriber count went from 150 to I just got 350 subs, but it went from 150 to 320. I don't think a lot of people still watch me from that, but if they don't unsubscribe, hey, I'm a happy fella. Whether they unsubscribe or not, I'm happy. That's funny. That's hysterical. And you still stop by all these streams. That's crazy. I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure I do remember you stopping by for the most part after that. But, dude, that was so much fun. Because when everyone left when the Patriots-Bills game started, actually, play action, throw, passes, caught, touchdown. Well, I figured the Bears were going to score a touchdown there, so I didn't want to talk over it. Number 46 for Chicago, that is Jake Tungrez, who is ranked as starting tight end now, but ranked as the 4th string tight end on the depth chart, scoring the touchdown off the play action pass, and it is 9-0 Chicago. Extra point pending. 6 plays, 33 yards, 3.5 minutes off the clock. And here is the extra point from Saros. It is good. It is 10-0 Bears. There you go. Yeah, Tom Grossi, he visited the stream once. One of my happiest moments ever as a YouTuber. It's not the happiest moment, but that's not even my favorite stream. My favorite stream was a couple months ago when I interviewed JG9, because he's one of my favorite. As much as I watch Tom Grossi and Brandon Perna and stuff, he's the YouTuber I probably watch the most. And yeah, just getting to interview him, and he's a Jaguar fan on top of that, so just getting to interview him was just awesome. But yeah, no, that Tom Grossi raid stream for the Patriots-Bills game, that's probably somewhere in my top 5 or top 10 favorite videos ever. That video got like over 3,000 views. Again, I got like 200 of my subscribers off that alone. And hey, 199 of them don't really tune into my videos anymore, but I got one loyal subscriber out of that, so I'll take it. Gil will kick it off, and this one will be a touchback. I know coaches don't really like when kick returners take knees in the end zone during preseason games, but I mean, if you're DJ Dallas, what are you going to do, run to 5 Bears and get tackled at the 10? Get the better field position. All right, Geno Smith coming back out for his third drive. If memory serves me right, Seattle only has 13 total yards of offense. They've only ran 6 plays. And the majority of their yardage, they have 17 total yards, and the majority of it has come from Travis Homer. Geno Smith 1 for 4 for 4 yards on the night so far. They've yet to convert a first down. All drives ending in punts right now. Smith under center, 1st and 10 at the 25. Handoff goes to Homer to the left-hand side. He bounces off a tackle, and Homer is going to stay on his feet to the 40, to the 45. Travis Homer building up a spark. He runs out of bounds at the 41-yard line of Chicago. Finally, a good play happens for Seattle. He bounced off the original tackle, bursted a hole on the left-hand side. And what a nice run by Travis Homer. Again, the third-year running back out of Miami. He could be handling kickoff duties all next season and showing it there. Gordon missed the tackle, and he was eventually brought out of bounds, as the only man that was going to catch up to him was number 55 there for the Bears. Is he even on my roster? I hope he is. Anyway, a handoff and a gain of 2 for DJ Dallas. There was only one man who kept speed with Travis Homer there, and it was Al-Quadain Muhammad. I think he's another former Colt. I remember the Bears picked up quite a bit of former Colt players. Anyway, we have another Seahawk down. We have to step into our third injury timeout. That is the guard Damian Lewis, and that sucks for Seattle. He's actually a starter on this team. He's the right guard. So as we head to commercial break, about hopefully 5 to 10 minutes, if all goes well, we'll have our man Sam Prince joining the broadcast for the first time, making his Flutster Sports Zone debut tonight. Like I mentioned, he is the founder for his very own podcast called Prince on the Pod. And he also announced the draft pick of Kayvon Thibodeau in this year's draft. Let me actually pull up the video. While we're in commercial break, I could probably pull up the video of him making the draft pick announcement so you guys really know who this is. I'd love to say no introduction, but oh yeah, you see, he follows me on Twitter. Guys, I'm famous. Sam Prince follows me on Twitter. But there he is in the war room. Oh man, with Brian DeBole and Eli Manning. That is wicked cool. Like I'm jealous of this guy. Look at him. Look at him interviewing Saquon Barkley right there. Look at that. Him and Saquon. That's insane. Hey, man, if I could be that close to Saquon Barkley, you could call me a jealous man. He also appeared on Good Morning Football. I have a good Kyle Brandit question to ask him. I have a good question to ask him about Kyle Brandit. Yeah, there it is, the Kayvon Thibodeau draft pick. He was on stage. He gave him a high five and a fist pump and everything. But back to the game for a brief moment. there is a card out on the field for Lewis, and hopefully prayers go out to him, and hopefully he'll be all right. But right now, scary situation there, especially in the preseason. You'd hate to see the stuff in the preseason, especially. Cannot believe. I know he's on social media a lot, but Sterling Shepard rookie card, nice. I'm a huge card collector, so I get excited when I see other people collect sports cards. Okay, but like right there, he interviewed Andrew Thomas, even Matt Roger Goodell. That's sick. Oh my goodness. Yeah, man. Awesome. He's making his Floodster debut tonight. Sam Prince. Oh yeah, then he was on Sports Center. Dude. Oh, here's the pick.
For the new.
Okay. Here is the video of him announcing. Hopefully the volume works, but here is the video of him announcing the Kayvon Thibodeaux
New York Giants pick. I'm joined by Sam Prince, a lifelong Giants fan and Make-A-Wish kid.
You hype up that crowd, Sam. There's the license plate guy. What's his name? He interviewed him also. Hype up that crowd.
Sam is post-heart transplant and feeling stronger than ever, as you can see.
Hype up that crowd. Well, he is actually here, so we will pause the video for now. But ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Sam Prince. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, my man. Welcome to the Fluster Sports Zone.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course, of course. So Sam will be joining us here for the next 20 or so minutes. And we get to hear about, some of his draft experience, some of his training camp experience. And, first things first, I got to start off with how excited are you to see Eli Manning's number retired next season?
It was retired last year, and I was there for that game. It was incredible. Not a dry eye in the stands.
Wow, that is fantastic. Of course, team legend. I'm from Massachusetts, not a Patriots fan, but I'm from Massachusetts, so I'm very familiar with this 2 Super Bowl wins here. And Eli Manning, I think, is a very underrated guy. I hope he makes the Hall of Fame one day for sure. So
he should.
I like
He's a Hall of Famer.
There we go.
Sorry for the bad lighting.
Oh, no problem.
How's it come out? Is it fuzzy on your end?
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that is
I don't look like I gotta look at like I just got out of a tanning salon.
It doesn't look that bad though. Don't worry about it. As there was a 4th and 2 for the Seahawks, holding is called. So instead of a conversion, there'll be a 4th and 7 coming up. So, Sam, you got to explain to us, what is the whole process of, when you were going to Las Vegas to represent the Giants in the NFL draft this past year, what was going through your mind when you first heard the news and got the opportunity?
I was like, am I dreaming? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to move the camera. Since I looked like I got out of tanning salon, that's kind of bothering me a little bit. Yeah, that's
right.
bad. No, I don't look as bad here. I'm sorry. The lights are really. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. It's really weird. I usually go downstairs and take the calls. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's no problem. So I mean, I can only imagine you were like, is this really happening? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jaguars fan. If I was there to announce a Jaguar pick, even if it was in the 6th or 7th round, I would still be extremely thankful. And, the fact that you were up there hyping up the crowd before announcing Kayvon Thibodeaux's pick, it's truly a remarkable story. And also, for you to then in a couple months down the road to eventually then be on ESPN in a documentary about the Make-A-Wish Foundation, it truly is a fantastic story.
Thank you, Grant. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm just so grateful for my donor family every day for donating their child's organs.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine, the hardship you once went through. But you want to know what, man? Opportunities come in this life, and you've worked so hard for these opportunities, and showing your loyalty to the Giants for all these years. It's truly wonderful to see. And I'm glad that social media is really showing off that, wow, I want to inspire to be like this Sam kid. He is so awesome. Look at him, go up and talk to Saquon Barkley. I was just scrolling through Twitter, and I saw you meet guys like Saquon Barkley and whatnot. I mean, it's incredible. Wearing his jersey. I love it.
Got the 2-6.
I will never forget. I was like, man, Saquon Barkley, he's been silent today. And then first career touchdown came against the Jaguars, 75 yards to the house. And I said, that's where I knew that kid was going to be special. Everyone was like, well, why are the Giants drafting a running back second overall? And I'm like, listen, when Saquon Barkley is healthy, I consider him a top 5 running back in the league.
I consider him a top 3 running back in the league.
I mean, I think you could certainly make the argument. Still think
I agree, Grant. I'm gonna move rooms because I look like I got a tanning salon. So I'm gonna stop my camera. I'm gonna go right back. I'm sorry about that. My fault.
No issues about that, man. As Semyon on 3rd and 1, we have a flag down. Oh man, why is it whenever I look up on the screen there's a flag? What is this? About to say we rookies here, but it is the preseason. False start against the Bears, so it'll be 3rd down and 6 coming up. Trying to see if there's any former Giants on either of these 2 rosters here. Don't know if there is off the top of my... Well, technically Geno Smith is.
No, Geno Smith.
Yeah, about to say, technically Geno Smith is. Played that one game in 2017 against the Raiders. Yeah. Geno Smith is. Looks
all
like
right, how's that? Much better.
Familiar one.
Much
That looks better. Oh, the Giants flag. I like it. All right, so the Bears just picked up a first down, so 1st and 10 there. But, yeah, so, I mean, just thank you so much for coming on the show. Yeah. I know it was kind of last second, but
we had a little technical. I don't know, it was like lighting weird looking. It's like I don't want to look like it was just bad. Like I was like, I gotta switch. Sorry about that. My fault. Now we're here.
Yeah, now we're here. Semyon play action on 1st and 10, rolls out, throws, and incomplete. Oh, one of the Seahawks coaches catches it on the sideline. There you go. So, basically, what games are you planning on attending to this year for the Giants? You got season tickets or? My
grandpa has season tickets. He's had season tickets for over 50 years. I will be at this Sunday's preseason Bengals game. Going to be an opening day, and I try to make. I'm not committing to any games. I'm going to Rowan University, which is hour and 40 minutes from the stadium, so drive back and forth for some games. I'm going to plan on going to the Bears game and most likely maybe the Ravens and a couple of late games.
Nice. Yeah, that would be awesome. My college is actually relatively close to Gillette Stadium, but obviously Patriots tickets probably cost more than the Giants, so don't know what to be going to there. But
are the Jags playing the Pats this year?
No, they unfortunately aren't. I know the Giants are playing the Jags this year, so
yes, sir.
Yep, the AFC South is playing the NFC East, so we'll see how that game goes along. If I do cover that game, I'll let you know.
All right.
Remember, Semyon completed an insane pass. Wow, to Isaiah Coulter.
How are you a Jags fan again?
So I am a Jaguars fan because, I basically need a team to root for, right? Like, I'm a big Aaron Rodgers guy, so I like the Packers. Growing up in Massachusetts, I respect the Patriots, but I wanted to find kind of my own team. And the Jaguars won 4 out of their last 5 games in the 2013 season. And so that convinced me that, you know what, maybe this team is going to go somewhere. And I thought they had a phenomenal 2014 draft, right? They drafted Blake Bortles, Allen Robinson. I was like, you know what? This team is ready to go. So basically after the 2014 draft, that's where I became a full-time Jaguars fan. And safe to say, other than 2017, it's been terrible.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, and you want to become a Patriots fan? Winning all the Super Bowls didn't.
You know what? And at least, I was rooting for the Patriots to beat the Seahawks in Super Bowl 49 and for them to beat the Rams in Super Bowl 53. So I kind of have celebrated my Patriot wins. And funny story, including the Giants, Super Bowl 46 was the first Super Bowl I remember. And I just remember me being absolutely devastated when the Patriots lost. It was so funny because, nowadays it'd be like, oh, like good for the Giants. But, back then, being 6-7-year-old me, I'm thinking, oh, like the Patriots lost the Super Bowl. This is the worst feeling in the world, right? But, man, Mario Manningham coming out of nowhere to save the day for the Giants. I tell you, man, still one of the most underrated plays in Super Bowl history, if you ask me.
I think it's one of the most underrated plays of all time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you talk about, I'm pretty sure it was third down, right? Manning just pulling out clutch play out of the hat. I know the David Tyree helmet catch was on third down. So moving on to that, the Giants have announced their Hall of Fame members for this year, and they had an old school running back who was a favorite of mine, O.J. Anderson. Otis Anderson.
OJ's my guy.
He was so good. I think he is criminally underrated. Should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he also won Rookie of the Year with the Cardinals. Man, he was a great running back, and I was extremely thrilled to see him going into the Giants Hall of Fame. I thought he already was going to be in there, I ain't going to lie. But, obviously we didn't grow up watching him or anything. But, based off of what you've seen out of him, what are your kind of thoughts on that?
I'm very happy that he's going to be in the Ring of Honor. I think he should have been in the Ring of Honor a very long time ago. But, hey, it's better late than never.
Better late than never. Super Bowl 25 champ there.
And MVP.
With the Giants.
An MVP. He was Super Bowl MVP.
He did win MVP. Jeff Hostetler with one of the more unfamiliar quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl. But guess what? He did it. He went through that entire playoff run. Beat the Bears in the divisional round, 49ers in the AFC Championship, Bills in the Super Bowl. There you go. So I guess looking forward to the future of this team, obviously announcing Thibodeau's pick, huge. Well, do you think he's got a true shot at winning Defensive Rookie of the Year? You think I figured you would say yes to that, but kind of how do you think his career is going to play out in the long run?
Well, Grant, he hasn't even played a regular season football game, so let's not go down far.
That's true.
I think he should be a favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's got a great shot to have a great career. Knock on something. I'm knocking on my table right here.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't want to speak like, oh, he should be a Hall of Famer. I would love him to be, but you know what? Let's take it game by game. Let's take it year by year, and let's see where the progression goes. He's looking like from his college days. He looked like he's going to be a superstar, but you never know. Hopefully, he'll be a superstar. I think he'll be a superstar.
Yeah, I think so also, and I 100% agree with that. Don't want to go on any hot takes. Don't want to say, oh, this guy coming out of college is the next big thing. You know what? I like that approach. Take it game by game, season by season. So I guess now looking also forward to the Giants, what is your honest opinion on, say, someone like Daniel Jones? Like, if Daniel Jones continues to struggle, do you think the Giants got to move on from him? Or do you think if he plays well enough and stays healthy, he deserves another chance? Kind of what are your chances opinions on the quarterback room, bringing in Tyrod Taylor and whatnot?
Well, Grant, Daniel Jones, it's $1 million question. We don't know the answer to it. He's going to start week 1.
Right. I 100% agree with that.
Most likely going to start 99% sure unless he doesn't get injured. I think Daniel Jones has talent to be an NFL quarterback. I love Tyrod bringing him in. We saw flashes his rookie year. We saw the flash from that Saint game. He hasn't had a competent head coach since his rookie year with Pat Shermer. That's what he did the best. And now he's a competent head coach. Not only competent, a great up-and-coming coach with Coach Dable, who is an offensive-minded head coach that he hasn't had since his rookie year, which he played pretty good his rookie year. So hopefully, and he's got a much better offensive line. But if he's not the guy, he's not the guy. But I will root for him until he's not a Giant.
And I love that attitude. And I'm the same way with a lot of players on the Jaguars. Although, he may have not proved to me that, he's not a solid player, but, a franchise type guy. But you know what? Like your approach, you got to take it season by season. You can't get hard on these guys. But Brian DeBoll, I really do think that is one of the best hires all offseason. I mean, we're seeing the Bears' new head coach right now. But honestly, I think Dable is the guy to go forward for the Giants. As you said, offensive-minded coach, has been coaching Josh Allen the past couple of seasons. The guy has done nothing but successful things since joining the Bills, and I think he cashed in at the perfect time. 47 years old, one of the younger head coaches in the league. I think he's going to do great. Again, I don't know if the Giants are going to be a playoff team this year. Next year,
they're gonna. I haven't had my official record predictions. I want to see all 3 preseason games first. But you know what? The Giants are going to be competitive this year.
Right.
Be competitive with Dable and Shane. I love this. I love this coaching hires. It just feels different here. It feels like this is a new organ. This feels different. It feels exciting.
I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Like I mentioned, whenever you get a younger coach, you usually the players usually gravitate towards him more often. But I mean, you said it best. When you have an offensive, successful-minded head coach like Dable, he's gonna do great. And again, the Giants are gonna show improvements this year. I think without a question. And I really hope that Saquon Barkley can stay healthy. Sterling Shepard can stay healthy. We can really see this Giants offense reach its full potential that we really haven't seen since the 2019 season. So,
look, that's another $1 million question with Saquon Barkley. Look, I would love him to stay healthy. He's looking awesome in practice, and according to Jordan Raanan, it takes 2 years for someone to really fully recover from an ACL tear, and that's what he's got. He's looking great in practice. But, then the Giants are going to say, do you pay him? If he has a great season, what's he going to ask for? That's the thing. If he doesn't have a great season, they pay him. I don't know if he's the guy. I would like him to be, but I also want to see how he plays this year from an analyst standpoint and a fan standpoint, from a fanless standpoint.
Yeah, that's definitely a good response there. Jason Myers just missed the field goal there, so it remains 10-0 Bears. All right, now, I know, of course, you being on social media quite a bit. I'm sure you've seen some not so nice things about Kenny Golladay, but I will say, I know he didn't catch a touchdown last year, but I will say I do think Kenny Golladay is up for at least any sort of better season than what he had last year. What do you think?
I think anything's better than last year.
I do agree with that also. Kenny Golladay showed a lot of flashes with the Lions. I do think if Daniel Jones is able to get that time in the pocket, he's going to be able to air it out more, let Golladay finish his route, and I do think that Golladay will get on the scoreboard this year and, at least show improvements, as will this entire Giants team. Now, just off the top of my head, the Giants lost Logan Ryan and Jabril Peppers, but I do think that New York still has a very young secondary, and again, I think they're going to show improvements, and I don't think that their pass defense is going to be all that terrible this year. So I know you've been seeing a lot of the youngins at camp and whatnot, so who's kind of the main young player we should be seeing at that secondary next season?
Without a question, Xavier McKinney. He's having a breakout year. Should have been a Pro Bowler last year. He's going to be a Pro Bowler. I'm going to say it. He's going to be great. He's going to have 5+ interceptions.
I completely agree with that. Xavier McKinney, being a rookie out of that 2019 class, he has been one of the faster free safeties in the league since then. And I do think Xavier McKinney is bound for hopefully a Pro Bowl appearance. As you said, I thought he should have made it in last year as well.
Got robbed.
Out robbed. Well, you know who didn't get robbed from the top 100 list was Leonard Williams. Of course, that's starting off this week. He ranked number 97 on the countdown. Do you agree with that pacing? I know he's been on the Giants for a couple of years now after getting traded from the Jets, and he's done very well, especially stopping the run.
Yeah, Leo's great. I think getting the top 100, great accomplishment for him, but I think he's going to get higher next year.
Hopefully he does. Like I said, one of the better run defenders in the league, I would say. So
it's too low for him.
And also another young Giant defensive player I'm looking at right now is O'Shane Exmans. I think he is another one due for a breakout year. He has been a very solid outside linebacker the past couple of seasons. Now we're going to get to see him in that full-time position role. He's got Blake Martinez coming back and a little bit better of a defensive line, I would say. What's your expectations for O'Shane Exmans this year?
We haven't really seen his full potential yet. He's getting paired up with Blake Martinez, who really didn't play last year due to injury. I have some high expectations for him. I think he'll fill it.
Yeah, I hope he does too, because he was another guy out of that 2019 draft class that I was really high on. And when the Giants picked him up, I was like, perfect. They need an outside linebacker. And you know what? They're going to get that. And hopefully he really does reach his ceiling this season because, very good outside linebacker there. Trying to think of other questions right off the bat. I know, Riley Dixon going to the Rams, but I do think that the Giants will still be fine in the special teams category because Graham Gano is still a very solid kicker. So,
Graham Gano should have been a Pro Bowler last year.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see. Gano, he's made Pro Bowls before. He's made 60-plus yard field goals. He's been a long-time veteran in this league, and I do think Graham Gano has done a spectacular job in this league. And, and for Riley Dixon, I wish him the best of luck in the Rams, but he was another one of my favorite punters. Sad to see him go in the Giants, but Giants, I think, will still be fine in the special teams department.
They got the Scottish Hammer.
Yep. So hopefully we'll see how the Giants special teams plays next year. And Giants could have also drafted this man, Trent Gill, rookie punter for the Bears, but he's putting on a pretty good preseason. But so looking forward to the next Bengals, or I guess the next preseason game against Cincinnati. What expectations are you looking at? I know it's tough to judge based off, preseason games and, you're not going to see
expectations. I want to see how the line plays on the first, the second, and third unit. I want to see how each unit plays. I want to see who's going to fight for the cornerback 2 and 3 spot. I also want to see how Tyrod Taylor plays, and of course, Daniel Jones.
Yep, that definitely sounds about right. Fortunately for Davis Webb, I do think he is well in that quarterback 3 position, though he did play well.
He'll probably most likely be in quarterback 3.
Yeah. But he did have a pretty good second half against the Patriots last week.
And then guess who won that game?
Yes, the Giants off a walk-off field goal.
I
tell you, man, the Patriots and Giants, I love how they get to play each other in the preseason every year. And the Giants have won the last 2 meetings, so keep that in mind.
No, we lost last year. I'm sorry, we lost last year. No, we lost last year. I'm sorry.
To the Patriots?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, never mind. That was Cam Newton's last game with the Patriots. Never mind. That
was. I did get to see Cam Newton in the Patriots uniform.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's pretty cool. I mean, I only went to one NFL game ever, and it was the Jaguars-Patriots preseason game back in 2017. Nothing really memorable came out of that.
Didn't you go to the Pats training camp?
Yeah, I did go to the Pats training camp a couple weeks ago. I got to actually meet Bailey Zappi, the rookie quarterback for the Patriots. He was very nice. I also got to take a selfie with Jonnu Smith and Cole Strange.
How's Cole?
Cole was very polite. I welcomed him into the NFL, and he said, I appreciate your support, man. And Jonnu Smith was awesome. He came over, dabbed me up, and I was able to take a selfie with him. He was wicked nice.
Did you meet anyone else?
Met Christine Wilkerson. He's a wide receiver, battling it out with Trey Nixon right now for the wide receiver 5 spot. Both played very good against the Giants last week, so I'm really excited to see what comes out of there for the Patriots wide receivers. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it for players I met. And Nick Folk, the Patriots kicker, he waved at my group.
I know a couple people who went and they met Mac.
That's really cool. I didn't get to meet Mac Jones, but if I did, that would have been nuts. But I can't say I met Mac Jones, but
yeah,
you're meeting all the legends. You're meeting the new guys. You're meeting the veterans on this team. No, man, I want you to become an insider for the Giants one day. I hope you know that. I'm rooting for you. I want you to become an insider for the Giants. Great interviewer based off of what I've seen. And, I want you to carry along with evening. Thank you so much for coming on, Sam. One last question before you go. Is Kyle Brandit the ultimate hype man?
Yes, but I'm number 1. He's number 2.
You know what? That's fair. Because
number 1, he's 2.
Between you getting all hyped up before announcing the pick and before, Kyle Brandit just ripping apart the chicken wing before announcing his pick. I mean, I'm giving the best draft moment to you.
Thank you. No, Kyle and I've talked about that. If I was a Bills fan and I announced the Bills pick, I would have done the same thing with chicken wing.
That's awesome. I mean, hey, I'm just waiting for the one day where a Bills fan announces a pick by jumping through one of those tables.
I don't know if that will ever happen in the first round or at the draft. I don't think that will ever happen.
It probably won't ever happen in the draft, but man, Bills Mafia, what a crazy fan base they are. But Sam, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. I've been wanting to interview for a long time. I just want to let you know, keep your head up. We're all supporting for you. And if you ever need anything, you got me on social media. Please reach out. Best of luck in college. And,
appreciate it. And speaking of draft announcements, you see my friend Ben's announcement too?
Which pick did he announce?
He did the Tyquan Thornton pick.
Oh, actually, that's so cool. Tyquan Thornton. He was another. Wait a minute. Tyquan Thornton was another one I met at Patriots training camp. Mm-hmm. And so I was very hyped to see him catch the touchdown last week. Yeah, that was awesome. He was another nice guy. He was another guy. Welcome to the NFL, and he just said, God bless you, bro, and very nice guy. And I was able to get his autograph. So Tyquan Thornton, nice guy, also can confirm.
That's good. That's what Ben told me.
Yeah.
He sends me a picture. He's like, so.
No, that's great. That's great. Hopefully, Dean College, about 15 minutes away from Gillette Stadium, and my sports broadcasting professor is the public address announcer of the New England Patriots.
Wow.
So, me and the right guy, maybe one day he'll fly me out to wherever they're holding the next draft, and maybe I get to announce a Patriots or Jaguars pick or whatever. But in due time, that score goes 1-0 to Sam. All right, Sam, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. And make sure you go check out Sam's podcast. You can go follow that on Instagram at PrinceOnThePod.
Love the plug.
And I put his personal Instagram in the description. And if you type Sam Prince on Twitter, he's popping up.
I'm popping up.
He's popping up. He's not like if you look up Grant Flood on Twitter, you're gonna have to do some scrolling. This guy, not the case.
Appreciate it. Good luck this fall.
Appreciate it, Sam. Best of luck, and again, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sam Prince. Man, what a nice fella. What a nice fella. Yeah, that was the first time I ever got to really talk to him face to face. I've done nothing but just text him before. He's wicked awesome. He's giving us some nice insights and predictions for the Giants next season. That was awesome, man. Love talking to Sam. Glad he was finally on the channel. And in terms of the Bears-Seahawks game, again, other than the missed field goal by Jason Myers, you didn't miss much. We're actually just hit the 2-minute warning. And looks like at around yeah. So that was Sam Prince. Next up, Sam Reese and Isaac Edelman. And a little birdie told me that Sam will be coming on in about 20 minutes, meaning Isaac will also get to spend some time with Sam. Oh, how fun. Oh, what's up, Anthony Wendler? Thanks for stopping by. The game was, like I said, you didn't really miss much. I was able to cover the Jake Tongas touchdown before Sam came on. And yeah, we had a nice little 20-minute talk about the Giants. He was awesome to talk about. You know, just the excitement he had. You know, hoping, you know, Daniel Jones is that guy. Hoping Saquon Barkley has a healthy season. Having the faith in Brian Dable. I love it. I just love the confidence he has in the Giants. Because I have no confidence in the Jaguars. So I just love how he's keeping his expectations real. He's expecting improvements. And I love that out of a fan, because he's not like me where it's like, oh, another season of Jaguars football. I can't wait to go 4-13 again. Like, I love that. I absolutely love that. And Sam was absolute blast to have on again. His Instagram is in the description. You can, again, go look him up on Twitter. His name's popping up. Go give him a follow. And next up, Sam Reese and then Isaac. And it looks like Sam and Isaac will both be on for a little bit on the same time. So we'll get a little all sports talk show nostalgia. But anyway, at the 2-minute warning now, like I mentioned, I do have a list of what to talk about during halftime or not. We're going to talk about Noah Fant joining the Seahawks. We're going to talk about Pat O'Donnell leaving the Bears, signing with the Green Bay Packers on a one-year deal. Deshaun Watson's suspension bumped up to 11 games. The Patriots and Panthers fighting during joint practice. And then we'll get into some hockey news with the Calgary Flames. Nazem Kadri's 7x7 contract. And Sean Monahan getting dealt to the Montreal Canadiens. A screen pass caught by Evans off the throw by Semien, and he runs out of bounds, making it 3rd down and 1. So I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was interviewing Sam, I was paying very little attention to the game. All I know is that no scores happened. There was a missed field goal. And, yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. I mean, this is what you expect as second stringers, right? You expect this type of game, 10-0 in the preseason. But Evans with a nice first down run, so it'll be – or do they – no, it's going to be 4th and 1. One referee was signaling first down, but now they're signaling 4th down. It's going to be 4th and 1, and we'll see what's going to happen with the punt team. Whether the Bears go for it or not. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 4th and 1 here. Evans stuffed at the line. They're currently interviewing DK Metcalf, the fresh $73 million man. He re-signed with the Seahawks a couple Fridays ago. It was July 28th. 3-year, $72 million, $58.2 million guaranteed for Metcalf. And 967 yards last season with a career high in 12 touchdowns. He has well over 3,000 receiving yards and 29 touchdowns total in his career. A lot of fans who are wearing the Metcalf and the Lockett jerseys, savoring on to those because those wearing the Wilson jerseys, the Sherman jerseys, the Marshawn Lynch jerseys, even guys like Chris Carson, the running back, he was forced to retire due to neck injuries a few weeks back. Not a lot of players sticking around here on Seattle, but DK will hopefully be one of them. And at least for my prediction's sake, Drew Lock. Here's the punt, and here's the touchback. So the Seahawks will get it at the 20. There's a minute 20 left in the second quarter. I see DK Metcalf during the pregame. We just love talking about DK, apparently. Look at that one-handed snag. Signing a couple of Seahawks fans' hats, mini helmets. That's where I was getting a Cole Strange and Tyquan Thornton's autograph, and Jonnu Smith was on a mini helmet. Yeah, no, I went to Patriots training camp a couple Thursdays ago. Really nice guys. I got to meet Zappy. Thornton, Strange, Smith. And I think maybe one or two other players. Anyway, DJ Dallas drops the pass. So 2nd and 10 coming up. Yeah, I gotta be honest. Though Drew Lock is inactive, he is not. I think he's still well within this quarterback room. How do I explain? He still has a shot to be the starter. If he absolutely balls out next week, I think he's still going to be the starter. Because Geno Smith has played terrible. And not helping matters is the rookie Charlie Cross getting a false start penalty. Oh, yeah, stepping back before the snap. You can't do it. He's working against 91 there for the Bears as Dominique Robinson. Second down, 15. Geno unloads and a drop pass. Man, oh man. And upset himself for that one. Number 81, Bo Melton, the intended man. And it will be 3rd down and 15. Yeah, man, Sam was awesome to have on. And then we got another Sam. Oh, and there you go, Tweet of the Hope. I asked you a question without even looking at the chat. Yeah, he hopes Geno Smith's the man, but he won't confirm. And that's the smart approach. Geno Smith is sacked. Back of the 7. Oh, man, this Seahawks offense, it is not moving. It is stuck in quicksand. A sack and a timeout by the Bears. That is Coley with the sack. Number 79, Trayvon Coley. 4th and a mile. And we're going to see the punt here from Michael Dixon. Here's the punt and the return out to the 44. So the Bears will get the ball back, 54 seconds left. I'd imagine we're still going to see Trevor Siemian. We will. Siemian, drafted by the Broncos in 2015, was the starter there in 2016 and 17 in 2018. Actually, he may have been in Denver with 2018 too. 2019, he went with the Jets. And got injured. Didn't play in 2020. Spent some time on the Titans practice squad. Got released. And then he signed with the Saints and threw 11 touchdowns to 3 picks last year in relief of Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. So not bad. And by the way, there's Evans, a first down carry and a gain of 12. Chicago using their second timeout. So Seahawks down to 2 timeouts, the Bears down to 1. 46 seconds remaining in this first half. Ball placed at the 45-yard line, and the Seahawks offense has been very sluggish. Geno Smith, last week, he had a rushing touchdown. He also went 10 for 15 for 101 yards. Not even close to that stat line tonight. And I'd imagine Smith will continue to play in the third quarter as, again, Jacob Eason, no offense to him, but he really does not have a shot at even becoming the second-string quarterback on this team. He is the third-stringer practice squad guy, as that pass is incomplete to the left-hand side for Webster. And it will be 2nd and 10 coming up. With the Seahawks, 44 seconds left. There's John Schneider, Vice President and General Manager for the Seahawks, for our Super Bowl. And 2 Super Bowl appearances, but that's about it. By the way, Geno Smith tonight, 7 for 15, 89 yards, and he's been sacked twice. He threw for 105 yards in the first quarter. In the first quarter last week. So that pass is incomplete. As Michael Jackson, breaking up the pass. 3rd and 10. Michael Jackson, legendary singer. He also played on the Patriots and Lions practice squads before joining the Seahawks midway through last season. Yeah, no, it's Michael Jackson Sr., I believe, is his name. 2nd-year cornerback. Yep, Mike Jackson Sr. I guess that could be the new thing. Whenever someone's name is Michael Jackson, do the ow. Anyway, Simeon steps back. 3rd and 10, walks right into a sack. Oh, he was in the midst of a daydream. And he was quickly awoken. 95 on the sack. That is Miles Adams, who dealt with an injury back in the first quarter, back out here now. And look at this, powering through the left end and just getting the sack there, hyping up the crowd. It was 3rd down. They get a much-needed sack. It's still a 2-possession game, and now with 33 seconds, it is the preseason. There's no need to take a knee. You want to show what Geno Smith can do, you go out and you try again to field goal range. Here comes the rookie Trenton Gill again. 5th punt of the night. Longest punt, 61 yards. Another one will land at the 20, and it'll be fair caught back at the 9-muff punt. And the Bears recover in the end zone for the touchdown. Oh, no way. Johnson muffed the punt. And forget the Seahawks offense coming back out on the field. Ouch. Johnson muffs it. It goes between his wickets. And the ball continues to roll into the end zone before it is scooped up by Elijah Hicks, the free safety. 16-0 with the extra point pending. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Elijah Hicks, the free safety, he has played sparingly throughout the night. Des Newsome, the wide receiver, was also in there to force the fumble. Well, I guess to make sure that the Seahawks didn't gain possession, and Hicks is going to be down at the 1-yard line. We're seeing the replay, and Quandre Diggs actually downs Elijah Hicks at the 1, at least at what it appeared. But the Seahawks can't challenge because it's within 2 minutes of the first half. And so there's the extra point by Saros, making it 17-0. So again, the free safety, Elijah Hicks, just got a fumble recovery for a touchdown. It was a muff punt by the wide receiver, Cave Johnson. Now, I hate to be Cade here, but he could potentially be getting cut in a couple of weeks, and that muff punt is going to be huge, not just for the Seahawks, but for the entire NFL. And not only the entire NFL, this is the only game on right now. A lot of scouts probably watching this game. Look at this graphic of Pete Carroll getting slapped on with a bunch of fish. He held it under control from 2010 to about 2018, but I don't know. When 2019 came around, he hasn't been really the same coach. Lost to the Packers in the divisional round that year. Lost to the Rams in the 2020 wildcard round. And last year was the beginning of the end. Below 500 for the first time since 2011, I want to say. And, since 2010, they've only missed the playoffs twice. That was in 2011 and in 2017. Other than that, the Seahawks have made the year every year before last season. Man, Pete Carroll sticking around. Is it wise that he sticks around before a rebuild? Does he last through the entire rebuild? Does he stay for most of the rebuild and hands the keys to another coach to finish it off? Here's Geno Smith, pump fakes, throws it down the middle. DJ Dallas slides down. And Smith will call a timeout with 13 seconds left. So as I mentioned, Geno Smith is a former New York Giant. He is also a former Los Angeles Charger. And, of course, New York Jet. As I mentioned, he's only thrown 34 career touchdown passes in regular season play. But his one game as a Giant, Week 14 against the Raiders, 2017, he replaced Eli Manning. I don't want to bring this name up in front of Sam, but Ben McAdoo was such a bad coach. He benched Eli Manning for Geno Smith. Smith got the start, lost the game. And then Manning started the next week, but it didn't matter because the Giants still lost to the Cowboys. First and 10 off the catch by DJ Dallas. I mean, Dallas, heading into his third year, he has a lot of NFL experience. So I'm not surprised he's been getting the ball quite a bit in these first two preseason games. Here's Smith, 5 seconds left, throws underneath. Dallas is going to slide down. And Dallas knows it. A brain fart. DJ Dallas slid down at midfield thinking Seattle had a timeout. He did not. And now we'll head into the half. Yeah, I was thinking there was going to be a lateral. And then when Dallas slid, I was like, he forgot they have no timeouts. And he went right up and he put his hands right on his helmet and said, oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot about that. Again, preseason, but wow. Now, I don't think a play like that's going to cost DJ Dallas a roster spot. I don't think so at all. Like I was saying before, I literally just announcer jinxed DJ Dallas. I did it again. Oh my God. I'm talking about how DJ Dallas has enough experience in this league. He's heading into his third year. He's played behind Chris Carson and Rashad Penny. It's not surprising why he's getting a lot of targets in the preseason, and he gets the target there, and oh my God, I just announcer jinxed DJ Dallas. I can't believe it. Anyway, halftime is here, which begins Sam Reeson in about 5 to 10 minutes. Isaac will be on at about 10 to 15. But before then, let's go actually recap some talking points here. So as I mentioned, I want to talk about not Gerald Everett, former Seahawks tight end Gerald Everett, who's now in the Chargers. I want to talk about their new tight end, Noah Fant, who everyone talks about Drew Lock, the draft picks. everyone talks about that. Who's the other guy? Mike Purcell, I think his name was. Let me refer to the roster here. Shelby Harris, not Mike Purcell. Shelby Harris. I'm getting my Bronco defensive lineman confused. Shelby Harris. Good pass rusher, Shelby Harris. But anyway, the one thing that I think everyone forgets about the trade is that they got Noah Fant. This Seahawks team is a team that lost Gerald Everett. They have Will Disley, who's a solid tight end too, but he is very injury prone. Noah Fant is not. Noah Fant is a rookie out of the 2019 draft class. And he has done nothing but successful things with the Broncos. And especially if the Seahawks move on from Tyler Lockett, that's going to mean that DK Metcalf is primarily the only weapon Drew Lock or Geno Smith is going to have. That's why they bring in a guy like Noah Fant. Don't be surprised if this guy gets, and again, I'm not trying to announce a jinx Noah Fant here, but I just want to get my quick little stat predictions for him. Don't be surprised if he gets over 800 receiving yards and about 7 to 9 touchdowns. I'm telling you right now, for you fantasy football players, long subscribers to the channel know I despise fantasy football, and I do. But with that being said, draft Noah Fant because he's going to do fantastic this season, especially if Tyler Lockett gets dealt at the trade deadline. He's going to definitely put up those numbers. If not, he's still probably going to catch about 5 or 6 touchdowns, and he's still going to pick up likely about 600-700 yards. He's the tight end one without question. And I like Will Disley a lot. I've been a big fan of him since he came in the league in 2018, but he's just too injury prone to be the starting guy. And Noah Fant, he's the best player they got back out of that Wilson trade. The draft picks are going to be nice. And again, Shelby Harris, very good defensive lineman, great run blocker, great pass defender. Well, I guess pass blocker. But Noah Fant is that main offensive key. If Drew Lock does not, if he plays average to below average like most of us are expecting him to, Noah Fant will hands down be the best player out of the deal. And he is a guy that you're going to want to re-sign long-term when his contract does expire in, I believe, 2 seasons, the year after this one. All right, moving on to, and man, Bears fans, this is going to hurt, but the Bears haven't really been in the news much, and I kind of needed to throw in like one thing, because I'm going to be honest with you, I think the Bears are going to be next to the Falcons for worst team in the NFC. Don't worry, I didn't need to wait for Sam to say the Giants. I do think the Giants will ultimately be better than the Bears and Falcons at least, and maybe even the Lions and Seahawks. But I do want to talk about Pat O'Donnell. Bears fans, how are we feeling? You're the best punter you've had since the 80s just left to sign with the Packers. Like, are you happy about that? Are you mad about that? I know you're going to say it's only a punter and Pat O'Donnell's a really chill guy, so probably most Bears fans don't really care in the long run. They're probably like, you know what? Good for Pat O'Donnell. If he wins the Super Bowl ring, good for him because he wasn't winning one with us. One of those diehard Bear fans that, like, he's a traitor. He could have signed elsewhere, but he went to the Packers. I mean, it's not like Brett Favre going to the Vikings or whatever, but you get what I'm saying. It's a team veteran, a fan favorite, signing with a division rival. And I'm just curious how some diehard Bears fans feel about that. All right, Deshaun Watson's suspension bumped up to 11 games. I think he should get a season. The fact Calvin Ridley gets a season for gambling and Deshaun Watson does not get a season for potentially sexually harassing 24 women is absolutely stupid, but we're not getting into that. I think the NFL and the NFLPA, I think this 11-game suspension is final. It was originally 6. That was outright pathetic. Tom Brady got suspended 4 games for Deflategate. The fact that Watson was getting 6 games was absolutely ridiculous. He gets 11. I still don't agree with the length. Again, I think it should still be 17 games. And instead of the $5 million fine, a $10 million fine, or whatever $1 million fine. But you know what? Whatever. I think the 11 games is going to be the absolute highest the suspension goes. That's sad, but I do think that what will be the case. Watson will return week 13 against, the Houston Texans. So that's why he's not getting a longer suspension. The league clearly wants to make money, make Watson's first game back in the NFL in 2 years against the Texans. Okay, that's just a conspiracy theory, but it's not a bad conspiracy theory in the grand scheme of things. Watson should be suspended the whole year. And Calvin really should be suspended 2-3 games. I understand betting on your team is not okay. But to suspend Calvin Ridley a year, to keep Pete Rose out of the Baseball Hall of Fame, all this is stupid. I can go down the Pete Rose rabbit hole all day. He has over 3,000 hits. He wasn't even gambling his whole career. Just like Barry Bonds. Sure, he took steroids, but guess what? He wasn't taking steroids his entire career. But anyway, baseball is a different breed. But as for the NFL, Deshaun Watson, it's 11 games. It's going to be the max it's going to get. Now it's going to be Browns versus Texans, Deshaun Watson's return, and it's sickening because I think it's for money reasons. All right, moving on to the Patriots and Panthers. Of course, they play their preseason game tomorrow, which if I wasn't busy tomorrow, I would have commentated it, but I will be, so that's a no. But they fought in their joint practices on Tuesday, on Wednesday. Multiple players ejected. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not trying to say this beef was from when Mac Jones, in my opinion, accidentally grabbed Brian Burns' ankle last season. But if that's what this is about, let me just tell you one thing. Grow up. I know Panther fans are going to come at me and they're going to say, but Mac Jones' intent to injure Brian Burns. Really? And even if he did, he didn't get fined for it. Okay. What was he going to get? Like a $5,000 fine? Why are we still complaining over that? Really? Why are we still complaining over that? Mac Jones is a likable guy. He may not be to Panther fans, but in general, he's a likable guy. And that's where that whole thing stemmed from. I think it's absolutely stupid and ridiculous. And the players got to stop acting childish and they got to get over it. But man, teams fight in joint practice a couple times off season. We see that. Like it happens with the Rams and the Chargers before. I think it happened with maybe not the Steelers. I don't remember who the other one was, but I'm sure there was many cases of it. But to fight on back-to-back days? After you think Bill Belichick and Matt Rule would have said, knock it off, don't fight. You fighting again? Back-to-back days? That's ridiculous. All right, moving on to some NHL news real quickly. Nazem Kadri does not sign with the New York Islanders. He signs with the Calgary Flames today. 7 years, $49 million, the whole contract. That's an interesting contract because his contract does expire when he's 39, and I do not think Nazem Kadri will be that good until he's like 37. I think that's when he's going to start to fall off. So I think the last couple of years that contract's going to be brutal. As for Calgary, they're in win-now mode. They've already traded and re-signed Jonathan Huberdeau. They're trying to re-sign Mackenzie Weegar. They re-signed Andrew Mappine. They re-signed Oliver Carrington. The Flames are making moves. They are re-signing players, and they are making sure that they're at least making the playoffs for the next couple of years, which meant Sean Monahan out the door. The center and a 2025 conditional first-round pick was dealt to the Montreal Canadiens for future considerations. I mean, at the moment, Montreal wins the deal. They get a second-line center and a first-round pick, a potential first-round pick, for probably what will end up being nothing but a third-round pick and like a prospect. I'd take that for Sean Monahan any day. When is it out of that? But that was all my halftime notes. I figured it was a little bit more professional to know what I was going to talk about instead of just saying, "Oh, let's go on my Instagram and recap the sports news." All right. Looks like we are nearing the end of halftime here. Looks like we're ready to start the third quarter. As we start the third quarter, looks like Isaac and Sam will be coming on. Well, we have Isaac with us now.
What's happening, Grant?
What's up? Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Glad to be on here. And hey, exciting news for you going off to college, but glad you get to do this final stream before college, I guess. I know it's not an NFL regular season game, but hey, preseason games are just as good, right? I mean, their ratings are better than the best NBA games last year.
Yep, that is true. Did the preseason last week get more views than the Field of Dreams game? I would imagine so.
I would imagine, yes, because baseball can only do so much.
Jeez, that's nuts to think about. But of course, you guys know Isaac, all sports talk show host, Florida Teams member. You guys know the drill. Make sure you go follow FL Teams and Isaac on Instagram. At least Isaac's Instagram's in the description. So, third quarter about to get underway. Geno Smith ready to head back out there. Looks like they have his leg covered up. So, I got to be honest with you. Geno Smith not looking good at all. And I think even though Drew Lock tested positive for COVID, Geno Smith's kind of poor performance is kind of saving Drew Lock here, I think.
Yeah, man. Look, we'll see what happens with the Seahawks team this year. I'm excited about the NFL this year. Obviously, the Seahawks, we know right now, Geno Smith and Drew Lock, but I wouldn't count out a Jimmy G.
comes in the game now, though, and off to Homer to gain of 1.
Yeah, but hey, I wouldn't count out a Jimmy Garoppolo trade. Let's just say that.
Ooh, I would love a Jimmy Garoppolo trade.
I mean, again,
it's all spicy. The division rival gets traded to the Seahawks. That would be nuts.
We know what Garoppolo could do with weapons, right? He is a QB that won't win you games, but he'll win you games with weapons. Meaning,
right?
He'll let the weapons do the work, but he'll set them up, right? And look, the Seahawks have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I'd expect one of them to maybe get traded, but I honestly thought Lockett was going to get traded on draft night, and obviously Metcalf signed that deal. I don't know. I mean, I would have expected one to get traded by now, but it doesn't look like it. So, hey, if you're asking me, the Seahawks are not going all in. Like, at this point in the offseason, if you're trading for Garoppolo now, like, why so late, right? Like,
I mean, they're going to say the excuse that, Garoppolo underwent surgery and blah, 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 blah. But let's be real. He's passing surgery at the end of the day anyway before the regular season. So I do agree. Why not trade for him earlier? And definitely now, with only 2.5 weeks away from the regular season, it doesn't make sense to trade for him now. You got to stick with your guys who know the playbook. As we have a 3rd down and 18 coming up here for the Seahawks. So, yeah, Jacob Easton comes in the game, former Colts quarterback, drafted in the 4th round of the 2020 draft. There's Leonard Williams, first season as Bears defensive coordinator. So, Bears first season, new head coach, offensive and defensive coordinator. I don't think the Bears are going to do that great this year, but I will say their coaching staff is young and hopefully it does well.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Obviously, the receiving core is questionable. I mean, really, it's just Darnell Mooney
Mooney, and that's it. And the injured corpse of N'Keal Harry and Equanimous St. Brown.
N'Keal Harry. Gosh.
N'Keal Harry gets traded to the Bears, spends a week in practice, and he's out for 8 weeks. Like, what's
I assume the Bears are going to have a good pick next year, and they're going to use it on a top wide receiver. That's my guess.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, obviously, you don't need a quarterback or a running back. I mean, offensive lineman would be nice. But, there's a better chance you get a solid offensive lineman in the second or third round. You want to get that top pick on a receiver or hopefully, some player in the secondary, because I do think the Bears secondary is going to be very weak this season. Of course, really just having Eddie Jackson and Thomas Graham coming out of nowhere last year, but other than those two, it's looking pretty dry. They have Lamar Jackson, though, the other one.
Cool. This is interesting. I know this isn't NFL related, but did you hear about the Derek Jeter documentary?
Yes.
So the producer, Randy Wilkins, he's the director of The Captain for ESPN. He tweeted that A-Rod and I got into it on camera when I interviewed him. We will not work together, which is interesting. You obviously know about the feud between Jeter and A-Rod, right?
Right.
So just wanted to point that out. That's interesting. Okay.
Oh, that is very interesting. By the way, Nathan Peterman now in the game for the Bears. Say what you want about him, but he just completed a nice 14-yard pass right there. Now the Bears are at the 33. He's been bouncing around despite having an awful tenure with the Bills. He spent a couple of years on the Raiders, now the third string on the Bears. Peterman on the run down to the 10. Off the play action completion. Hey, not so bad. That's Isaiah Clouder getting his fourth catch of the game. Oh, boy. So A-Rod and the producer for the Jeter documentary getting into it. That's very interesting. I got to say, though, I did watch that Jeter, or at least some parts of that Jeter documentary. I was pretty impressed by that. And we have Samuel Reed joining.
What's good? Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Actually, I think there might be an echo on.
Is there really?
There isn't.
There isn't? Okay. I was going to say. All right, good thing there isn't. All right, cool. Sorry for coming a little bit late, Grant.
Oh, no problem. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
And the Bears are going to score another touchdown. Peterman, play action throw. And, well, this game is it's not looking pretty. It's actually not a touchdown. They're going to down him at the 1. That is Torgus trying to get his second. But so, Sam, you're ready to head off to Syracuse in a few weeks. Big things ahead of you, my guy.
Yeah, I know. Actually, Tuesday is when I.
Tuesday? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I know. For everyone else in New England, for New Englanders, anyways, it's like September 1st. I don't know what it is for you, Grant.
Yeah, no, for me, it's September 2nd.
September 2nd. Okay, yeah.
And you know what? Floridians were yesterday and today, so.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Tuesday, so I'm already packing up, and yeah, just have a few more days before I'm off to Syracuse. So
well, Sam, this is news to you. I think I'll be heading up to Syracuse, and I don't know the exact date, but when I'm going to go up, obviously, to tour the school, and then I'm going to go to an FSU Syracuse game. So.
Oh, nice.
Maybe you'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, I probably will be. Just definitely let me know when you're in town.
Dayton Evans gets a 1-yard touchdown, so there it is, 24-0 Bears officially. So, Sam, going to a school where you've had guys like Jim Nantz, Ian Eagle, you've had so many Bob Costas, just so many iconic broadcasters coming out of Syracuse University, and of course, being an aspiring sports broadcaster, kind of what's your expectation for yourself? I guess, kind of. Heading into such a huge school like that.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Yeah, obviously, yeah, as he said, like it's a school well known for what I want to do and what we want to do, which is to become a sports broadcaster, and that's obviously a huge reason why I chose the school. And I obviously understand that all the people pretty much, well, most of the people with my major, broadcast and digital journalism, are aspiring to do exactly what I want to do. And
Right.
just like me, want to become, the next Jim Nance, Al Michaels, or, whatever, Sean McDonough, Bob Costas, you name it. So it's obviously going to be, a very competitive atmosphere, if you like. But I'm sure at the same time, I'll make a lot of really good friendships. And I feel like with so many talented, broadcasters who want to push themselves to get better, like myself, I think that's only going to make, myself and the others around me that I, work with and, experience college with and stuff to get better at our craft. So my expectation, I'm just really trying to push myself to get better and better in my 4 years there. And hopefully that will set me up for the best, possible path in a career afterwards. But obviously I understand that just because I'm going to Syracuse, that's such a well-known school for broadcasting, that doesn't mean, I'm going to be set up. I'm obviously going to have to put in a lot of work, and that goes without saying. So now that I got into my dream school and I'm fortunate enough to go there, I'm excited to, get to work and really push myself to just get better and better.
Nail on the coffin. Same thing here. Besides, of course, my roommate, he has been an aspiring sports broadcaster since he was 7 years old. Shout out to my man Smith, Sam Smith. Watches a few of my videos, but
Another Sam.
Another Sam. I know like 5 or 6 Sams.
There's too many, huh?
Too many. But anyway, and of course, Sam Prince earlier on the stream, wonderful guest. But now I'm with the guys who I'm really familiar with, and always love hanging out with you guys. But I'm the same way. Like even my roommate, aspiring sports broadcaster since he was 7 years old, and he's just like me. He commentates a bunch of Bruins games on YouTube. So as Sam said, a lot of people out there in such a small industry gonna have to work hard to make it. And as for Isaac prepping for college, it's nice you're going to be visiting a couple of schools. Any other schools you have in mind besides Syracuse right now?
I have a lot of, options, I guess, being in Florida, but I guess my top 2 would be Syracuse and UF. Also, Miami's good. I saw a post the other day, top 20 sports broadcasting schools. Obviously, Syracuse is number 1, but in that top 20, Miami and UF. So we have some options, man. Too early to decide, I guess. I'm going to enjoy my junior year of high school, and then we'll see what happens after that. But, hey, whatever the case is, I think, obviously you make connections in college and you learn from good professors. But what you do outside of school, I think, is most important. So you could get an internship, and really that's what could set you off into a good career rather than the college you go to. But obviously, going to a better college helps.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, you guys are gonna have great futures. I'm definitely not worried about that. Oh, bobbled snap, and it'll be 3rd down and 8 now. Yeah, watching the Seahawks offense without Russell Wilson is so weird, and I know it's only preseason, but they're struggling badly. So I guess now it's time that we have the Dolphins and Patriot fan duke it out here. Who's finishing? I hate to say who's finishing 2nd and 3rd, but basically who's finishing 2nd and 3rd, because I just don't see how either Miami or New England, though I do think they both improved, I just don't see how they're going to be as good as Buffalo next year. So kind of what are we looking for AFC East predictions here?
I guess I'll take it first. Yeah, I definitely think the Bills are clear favorite division. Honest, so I'd be shocked if the Bills didn't win the division. And then when it comes to Miami and New England, I honestly think it's going to be very tight between those two, because I haven't been overly impressed with what I've seen from the Patriots so far. I mean, or from what I've heard for the most part from training camp, it sounds like the offense hasn't been great. There's, of course, the whole situation with who will be even calling the plays on offense.
Yeah, Matt Patricia or Joe Judge. Yep.
Exactly, and I don't like either of those guys, so that's a different story. And I actually happened to be at training camp on when was that? Yesterday, when the huge brawl broke out. I was actually kind of close to that whole situation. So I don't think the signs of training camp are good when it comes to the Patriots. And I also have a weird feeling that, like, you know, second year for Mac Jones, he had a solid rookie year, and I have a feeling just the second year he'll drop off a little bit. I hope not. I hope he improves, but I just get that feeling. And plus, he doesn't have Josh McDaniels as his offensive coordinator anymore, as his basically his guy to trust in it. So it seems like, you know, there could be some. The offense and the coaches might not be on the same page right away. So I have my worries about New England, and I'm fearing that maybe Miami finishes like a game ahead of New England. So I see the Patriots like right around 500, to be honest. Could they nick like that 7 seed playoff spot? Maybe, but they're going to be right on the bubble, in my opinion. And I think it's going to be really close between the Patriots and the Dolphins. But in this moment, I hate to say it, but I might give the Dolphins like an extra win over New England. I don't know what you think about that, Isaac.
It's fine with me. Hey, look, I just, you know, when I look at it on paper, and obviously I always want to say when I look at it on paper, because injuries can happen and that throws off your whole team. You know, Devontae Parker's not on the Dolphins anymore, and he's on the Patriots. I just want to bring that up first because we're talking about these two teams only. Devontae Parker is New England's wide receiver 1, which is laughable at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't see how we could have got to that point in time. Anyway, the Dolphins are doing good at the wide receiver position. I mean, he got Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and our wide receiver 3, Cedric Wilson, ain't bad either. You could have an argument.
Preston Williams is so good they're thinking about trading him right now.
Yeah, and look, you could have an argument that Cedric Wilson is more valuable than Devontae Parker, and that's completely because of Devontae Parker's injury concerns. Now, when I talk about the team overall, Dolphins defense amazing. Byron Jones, Xavier Howard. I like what they're doing with Noah Igbenogany. They're really doing good. Now, the offensive line has improved. That was my main concern last year. Teron Armstead, that's a huge addition. That's a Pro Bowler right there. The QB situation in Miami still concerns me. I'm not the biggest fan of Tua, but I will say this. This is his make or break season. Now, we say this a lot, and we always give a QB an extra year. Daniel Jones keeps on getting an extra year. But this time, for real, no one's giving Tua an extra year. Tua is not the most loved QB, and that's saying it the nice way. And no one's going to give Tua an extra year to show how good he is because you have Tyreek Hill, and you have Jalen Waddle, and you have a good offensive line finally. And guess what? You have a terrific running back duo, Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert. And you also have a fullback. And that may sound funny, but fullbacks could protect a QB, and they could create some plays. I mean, if you look at it this way, the Dolphins have, I think besides Kyle Juszczyk, I'm pronouncing his name right, Alec Ingold is, I think, the second best fullback in the NFL. So when you look at it on paper, the Dolphins are much better than the Patriots. My only concern is Tua, and that's a big concern because your QB is the most important position. But I really think that Mike McDaniel can figure it out. He's talented. I mean, we've never seen him as a head coach before, but we've seen him call offensive plays, and that's good. I like what the Dolphins are doing. It's as simple as that, like the running back duo, the wide receiver duo, the cornerback duo, right? Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. Like, everything has gotten better for the Dolphins. They haven't gotten worse in one category. Myles Gaskin, who was Miami's running back 1, he's their running back 4, maybe running back 3, but Sony Michel might be the running back 3. So, yeah, I mean, I don't see how the Patriots could – I mean, I just see the Dolphins finishing more than one game above the Patriots. But here's what's hard. Like, the question now is, could the Dolphins make the playoffs? The AFC is so stacked. Yeah. Like, literally, the AFC West, the whole division can make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I love the Broncos this year. The Chiefs, I mean, they're going to do good. The Chargers are going to do good. And the Raiders are going to do good. Like, that division just shows you how tough the AFC is this year. Now, you know, like, you don't know what's going to happen with the Ravens. Obviously, I have the Bengals winning that division, but the Ravens could surprise some people this year with Rashad Bateman. You know, we could say this, Sam. We can agree on this. The Jets are finishing 4th. However,
Yeah.
let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're getting close to the time where we could be getting scared of the Jets. The Bills are not because they're so talented, but I'm telling you, the Jets in the next few years are going to be right on the tail of the Dolphins and Patriots. Elijah Moore is talented. Michael Carter is talented. Their second string running back, I'm forgetting.
Elijah Pirine out of Florida.
No. They
have him, but I guess he's their third string now.
That's who it was. Breece Hall. Yeah, Breece Hall, I think, is going to be good. I mean, Zach Wilson's only going to get better. I like what the Jets had the best draft, by the way. Can we agree on that?
I would say the Jets had the best draft.
Yes. So,
year.
I don't know. I mean, I know we're talking about the AFC East, but I feel like, not this year, though, but the Jets are going to be on the tail of us soon. Would you agree, Sam?
I mean, yeah, they have to. Like, eventually, they have to. So I would agree, but then again, like, there is the thing where they are the Jets, so, like, yeah. I'll believe it when I see it. But, yeah, it's been so long that I have to think with, a good draft, as you said, they're going to get there eventually. I don't know how quick now because they are the Jets, but, yeah, in the near future, I would say they could be, contending with the Dolphins and Patriots. But then again, I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm with you guys 100% on that. I mean, I'm with the fact that the Jets are close to being a third place caliber team, but I'm also with Sam knowing that they still have not proven themselves since 2015, 2016 that they've been like a solid team at best. So the Jets are tough to gauge on. Yeah. Now, yes, Zach Wilson showed flashes his rookie year, and I think he's going to do fine when he returns from his injury. But, the whole situation with that is, and this was kind of my question when they drafted Zach Wilson last year, was if you got rid of Sam Darnold after 3 seasons, what's kind of the timeline for Zach Wilson? Are you going to get rid of him after 3 struggling seasons, or are you going to keep on to him for longer? I don't know what that situation is going to be in due time if Robert Saleh shows to not be the head coach over there.
Well, it's only been 1 season for Zach Wilson.
It's only been 1 season, so
and hey,
Wilson and Saleh, so
he wasn't disappointing. So I don't think we need to have this conversation now because I don't think he's going to be as bad as Darnold. Let alone, let's be honest. I mean, Darnold was hated by Jet fans. Zach Wilson's not close to that yet. I say yet because you never know with the Jets. As you said,
even Mark Sanchez made 2 AFC championship games before the fan base turned on him.
Yeah. Hey, something else? The Jets can never get a good kicker.
That's true.
Good point, yeah.
Greg Zuerlein. I mean, Greg Zuerlein's interesting. He's old, but he's interesting because
the Jets. I don't know. The Jets.
I don't know.
I just had to point that out, but it matters. I mean, when the Jets are going to score 0 points a game, I mean, a field goal will help.
Just like when the Dolphins shut him out when Tua made his NFL debut.
I still can't believe the Dolphins exposed the Ravens last year. I just have to bring that up. Like, the fact that Lamar Jackson, the Dolphins kept on running the same defensive plays against the Ravens, and they just couldn't figure out the Dolphins. It shows me 2 things. The Ravens' coaching wasn't that good, and we know who Harbaugh is. I mean, he has experience, but
it's Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator. He's the issue.
They couldn't game plan. And number 2, Lamar Jackson had some major flaws that were exposed. I mean, the Dolphins' defense is good, but for an MVP, come on. I mean, the Ravens, that's why they're so interesting. Like, they could win the AFC North, but I just don't see them doing it, let alone making the playoffs. The AFC is so tough, man. We'll see what happens in that AFC West. I think that's the most exciting division in football. I can't wait to see what Russell Wilson does with the Broncos, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Javonte Williams. I think he's going to solidify himself as a top 10 running back at the end of the season. And then Melvin Gordon as a running back, too. That's terrific.
A lot of people are so high on Javonte Williams. I know he was a beast in college. I don't know though.
He's not that much worse than Najee Harris, who people love.
That's true. I know. I would rate him close to Najee Harris performed last year, and I think Najee Harris was very solid. So I don't know. I don't know if I would call Javonte Williams top 10 for this year yet. Kind of, I have to see it to believe it, but I definitely think he's going to surpass Melvin Gordon on that depth chart without a question. And I guess speaking of the AFC West, I mean, I think there's going to be 3 playoff teams coming out of that division. So basically, I guess we'll go in order. I guess Sam can go first. What's kind of 1 through 4, who are you predicting in the AFC West this year?
Oof, yeah, that's a good question because as Isaac mentioned earlier, I think literally all 4 teams in this division could have a shot at making it when all is said and done. But yeah, so if I go 1 through 4, I still think Kansas City finishes first in the division. I do. So I'll take the Chiefs first, and then I'm gonna go. I think it's honestly going to be tight between the Chargers and Broncos. And the Raiders, to be honest. I'll put all 3 in there, but I say I'll go with the Chargers second, Broncos third, and I think the Raiders finish last, which is interesting. But I do, I think they have potential. It is McDaniel's first year, however. I think next season the Raiders could definitely make the playoffs, but I don't know. I feel I'm more on the upside with Denver, to be honest, this season, right here, right now. That could change next year. But yeah, and then the Chargers have been on the up with Herbert, of course, but that's going to be awfully close. I still think the Chiefs are clear-cut first place, in my opinion. After that, it's very tight. But yeah, I'm going to go Chiefs 1, Chargers 2, Broncos 3. That's what I'm going to go with. I wonder if you guys agree or not.
All right, Isaac, what's your predictions?
Well, I'll start off with the number 4 team. I'll get them out of the way. It's the team with Jared Stidham. Hey, the Raiders. I really think all 4 teams are going to make it. I really do. And you know what? That sucks for me being a Dolphins fan. I don't know. But I mean, I know I'm a Dolphin fan. I want the Dolphins to make the playoffs, but I just have these 4 teams being better than the Dolphins. The Raiders at 4. Gosh, you know how good the Raiders are? This is
the Raiders. I'm just going to say this right now. The Raiders brought any team in that AFC West. I know the Titans and Colts.
They're all good. They're all good.
Other teams, the Titans and Colts, are very good in the AFC West. I think in the AFC South, I think any team in that AFC West blows away in that division.
Yeah. Look, this is the best 4th place team in football, according to me.
Yes, without question.
Derek Carr at QB, Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake at running back, Devontae Adams, potentially the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, Hunter Renfrow, one of the best wide receiver 2s in the NFL, Keelan Cole, that Jaguar guy like Grant.
I have his jersey in my closet somewhere.
Yeah. Hey, Darren Waller. Also,
Darren Waller. Oh, and let me tick off Ravens fans real quickly. Darren Waller's better than Mark Andrews.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I mean, he could be the best tight end in the NFL. And then you got Chandler Jones. I mean, talk about a team that improved. The Raiders, I mean, their head coaching situation, I don't know how McDaniels is going to do. I guess Sam would have more insight on that than me. Yeah. But one thing's for sure. The offense has talent. And gosh, I mean, we know what Derek Carr can do. We know what Devontae Adams can do. And we know what Darren Waller can do. We know what Josh Jacobs can do. We literally know what everyone can do on this Raiders team. Now, again, the challenge is beating your divisional opponents who you play 2 times a year. Right. So, look, give me at 3 the Chargers, at 2 the Broncos, and at 1 the Chiefs. I like what the Chiefs did. I mean, if you're going to send away Tyreek Hill, you got so many picks back in return. And guess what? Juju Smith-Schuster was replaced by Tyreek Hill. Now, Juju is not Tyreek Hill, but out of the players available, Juju might have been the best available, right? Like, Devontae Adams switched teams, but we knew he only wanted to go to the Raiders. Honestly, Juju Smith-Schuster was one of the best wide receivers available, and the Chiefs got him. You still have Kelsey, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Mahomes. Like, you're going to do damage, and McCole Hardman's still on the team. He's a threat. So, You know, the
MVS
Chiefs
too. MVS, Marquise
look,
Valdez-Scantling.
the Chiefs didn't get better, but in terms of losing Tyreek Hill,
They made up for it.
Juju Smith-Schuster is one of the replacements possible. And I say possible, like they're not getting DeAndre Hopkins. They're not getting Devontae Adams, right? So Juju was great. And that too, I love the Broncos. I just talked about Javonte Williams. And look, Russell Wilson is so good. Like, you know, with QBs like Matt Ryan and Wentz, you wonder how much they have left in the tank. If you're saying how much Russell Wilson has left in the tank, you don't watch the NFL because he shows no signs of slowing down. And you know what? The Broncos have their best QB since Peyton Manning. So, look, It's going to be exciting what happens there. And, yeah, the Chargers at 3. I mean, they're good. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert. I mean, you got who you got. And, again, I think they're better than most teams in the NFL, but the AFC is just so tough. And look, nothing against the Chargers, but their defense concerns me.
True.
Just kidding. No, it doesn't. Derwin James Jr., Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Kyle Van Noy. This team is good. Like, I don't know. Basically, let's sum up all these millions of words I've just said in the last few minutes. Everyone in this division is making the playoffs. And if that is true, the Dolphins are not making the playoffs unless they beat out the Bills for the division. Hey, it is what it is. Like, I was talking about how good the Raiders are. I didn't say one bad thing about the Raiders, let alone I had them finishing last in the division. That just shows you, right? The Chargers have an elite defense. The Raiders have an elite defense. I don't know what to say. But, hey, we know Joey Bosa is so good at what he does. Khalil Mack is so good at what he does. First year here on the Chargers, we'll see what he could do. And, oh, my gosh, Sam, we didn't mention J.C. Jackson.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you were mentioning the Chargers defense, I was like, J.C. Jackson's there now as well.
This team is good. Like,
I'm going to miss him, yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, you got a sack monster and Joey Bosa. You got a sack monster, Khalil Mack, and a fumble forcer. And J.C. Jackson is an interception king. And unlike Trevon Diggs, he doesn't allow a lot of yards.
That's very true. Yeah, I mean, as you guys have been saying, there's nothing bad to say about the Raiders, but they're the odd man out, I think. If I had to choose a team that's going in fourth, it's going to be the Raiders. We know the talent they're going to do. I think Josh McDaniels is going to do fine, at least the first couple of years as a head coach.
Well, the problem is, I guess he was the believer instead of, obviously, McDaniels.
Hey, he's beating out Nick Mullins for the backup job, no question.
Oh, yeah.
At least that's good news for Stidham.
You know something? Nick Mullins got more national TV time than Stidham, which makes me happy. Nick Mullins has played a lot of games for the 49ers.
That he did. And that one random game with the Browns last year, but neither here nor there.
I think we're done with the Raiders because I don't know what's going to happen with them. I feel like this NFL season, I mean, I know we're always hyped heading into week 1, but if you're ranking how hyped you are, this has to be on top of that list.
I can tell I'm more hyped about this year than last year, too. Third, I have the Broncos. Second, Chargers. First, Chiefs. But in terms of hype for the season, I am, because last year – I'm just so happy the Bengals were such a good surprise. No one even expected the Bengals to make the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl. What a surprise that was. It's seeing all these young teams now, seeing teams like the Bengals, the Ravens, and I'm just saying right now, Mike Tomlin's never finished below 500. I think that will change this year, but still, because of that statistic alone, I got to keep the Steelers in the playoff hunt. In the AFC South, yeah, whatever, laugh at the Jaguars. Don't worry, I'm preparing for a 4-win season. And the Texans, I don't think they're going to do anything either. But the Colts and the Titans, they're going to be battling it out for the AFC South crown.
I want to make this clear.
Bills, Dolphins, Patriots. In the West, all 14. The NFC is a little less loaded than the AFC, but we're going to have about 2 or 3 teams that could finish with 9 to 10 wins that completely miss out on the playoffs.
I want to make this clear. The Steelers can't possibly make the playoffs.
They
It's
can't.
just
They got
no.
lucky last year, and they definitely. I don't see them
Look,
this year. But
and this has nothing to do with Kenny Pickett or anyone. I don't want to single anyone out. But I mean, look, if all 4 teams in the AFC West don't make the playoffs, that means the Patriots and Dolphins are not making the playoffs. And you can't tell me the Steelers are better than those 2 teams.
they are.
And guess what? The Ravens or Bengals, whoever doesn't win that division, they're better than the Steelers. So it's not possible. Because, like, let's say the Steelers do way better than expectations. That's still not better than what any team in the AFC West can do, or even what the Ravens or Bengals could do. And why I say or, if the Bengals in the division, the Ravens are finishing second. So, I don't know. Sam, do you agree with me? Because I feel like the Steelers just they're out. I mean,
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think, yeah, when you think about how stacked the AFC West is, and yeah, when you compare them to teams like the Patriots and Dolphins, I think they're right around the Patriots level maybe, and that's just not going to be enough in a stacked AFC to make the playoffs. So, Grant is right to bring up that stat, which is kind of crazy that Mike.
And he's been there since 2007. I do think this year, though, that does change.
You got to give him
especially with
credit.
Trubisky playing for as long as I think he will play. No offense to Mr. Trubisky, he looked good in that first preseason game, but is he really a long-term answer, especially with Kenny Pickett sitting right behind him? I don't know how much faith you can have in him. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think he is the answer, to be honest. I think for Pittsburgh right now, it's not a full-on rebuild right now. Obviously, they still have some talent there, but they're kind of like middle of the pack right now. And yeah, you're gonna have to wait to see Pickett develop and see what he can do. Obviously, he had a great college career at Pitt, but that doesn't always translate to the NFL. So that's the big question for me, because I don't think Trubisky is the answer long term. I really don't.
Right.
But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
Now, kind of switching gears, I don't know how much you guys watch Hard Knocks or not. I don't really watch it that much, but I gotta say, Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions head coach, this guy shows the most passion out of any head coach in the league. And call me nuts, I don't think this year's the year, but I do think within 5 years, if Campbell shows improvements, Detroit could definitely be a playoff team. This guy just has the Lions emotionally charged every Sunday, and I love every second of it. So I guess I kind of just want you guys' quick opinion on Dan Campbell and kind of what you're expecting out of Detroit in year 2.
If you'll let me, Sam, I'll go first here.
Go ahead.
The QB situation concerns me, but that's just for this season. Like, we know the Lions are going to draft a QB sooner than later. And they have DeAndre Swift at running back. They have DJ Chark. Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's actually good. And what is my favorite, Jameson Williams. Like, that's a promising wide receiver, right? He's going to be a rookie this year. He is so young, right? Jared Goff, DJ Chark, I feel like they're just here to play and make the Lions not look bad. But Jameson Williams and DeAndre Swift are here for the future. TJ Hawkinson's here for the future. TJ Hawkinson's a talented tight end. Then we could talk about the offensive line, Penei Sewell. And then the one and only Aiden Hutchinson. Look, it's as simple as this. The Lions are ready for the future, and Dan Campbell's building it. I mean, I wanted to talk about the roster before I get into what, we most know him for, his inspirational speeches and how aggressive he is and just how impactful he is, right? Coaches make impacts, but that's usually their play calling. Dan Campbell, believe me, he makes impacts by doing play calls. But I think what he says and what comes out of his mouth, it means a lot. And I think it's important for a team or franchise like the Lions because Penei Sewell or Aiden Hutchinson, they may not want to have losing records their first 5 seasons in the NFL. But I feel like Dan Campbell makes them stick around. And obviously, I think Jared Goff is excluded in this because he's not part of the Lions' future. But he's going to let their team know that they're going to be good in the future. Jameson Williams is just getting started. Aiden Hutchinson just getting started. And Penei Sewell, I mean, I guess he's just
the Lions just
protecting golf.
One of the youngest teams, and you just know with a young coaching mindset, they gotta break through eventually. Kind of just like the Jets. In due time, they're gonna be catching up to Green Bay and Minnesota. It's just gonna happen. I seriously think Detroit could finish above Chicago this year. And you know what? To show signs that things are getting better in that organization, that's what you got to do. Leapfrog Chicago. Win 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys make good points. I still think at the moment, obviously, we're speaking down the road, but at the moment, they're, like a 4 or 5 win team. Which for Detroit standards,
that's all right.
It's all right. Yeah, exactly. The bar is not too high for them, obviously. But as you mentioned, as you phrased it, within the next 5 years, I think they're going to make progress year by year, slowly but slowly. And within 5 years, I could see them perhaps being a playoff contender and challenging, the likes of Chicago, obviously, but, even Minnesota. And Aaron Rodgers is going to be done sooner rather than later. So maybe Green Bay drops off a little bit. And all of a sudden, Detroit could be in that conversation. I am a little bit more hesitant, though. The talent, the young talent is there. And, when you're bad for how long they've been bad, as Grant mentioned, there's going to be a lot of good draft picks that you get. And we're seeing that kind of pile up over the last couple of years. And I think it's going to be really good for the future. But when it comes to Dan Campbell in particular, I have mixed feelings about him, to be honest, because the passion we've seen, I've seen snippets of Hard Knocks and the behind the scenes look, and I think that's great for the team, no doubt about it. I also think he is a little bit of a strange bird. Like when he first got the Detroit job, I think in his opening press conference, he said some weird stuff, and he
was talking about breaking kneecaps. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So it seemed a little bit strange, and it's not bad to be a little bit different and a different character, but the real question I have about him is how good of a coach is he actually? Because I still think we don't quite know that.
Right.
You can have the trust in all your team and have that passion to get that drive in your team that you need. But at the end of the day, if you're making some poor decisions on the sideline, that could hurt your team. So I still have to wait and see on Dan Campbell because he hasn't quite proven himself yet. And I don't know if he is the answer for this Detroit team. But from what we've seen, the Hard Knocks and just, the passion he has and everything he does, I think that's one way to be a likable coach and really get the buy-in from the team. But now let's see what he can do, this season and beyond with the group of players he has and with a little bit more talent than past years. So I'm a little bit cautious, but yes, I think within the next 5 years, Grant, I would agree. Detroit is going to slowly but surely climb their way up and potentially contend for a playoff spot down the road, but we'll have to give it a little bit of time, of course.
I hope so. Hey, Bengals' last playoff win before last season, 1990. The Lions' last playoff win, 1991.
Yeah.
The streak's ending eventually. The question is when. All right. Now I know Isaac, of course, after being a high schooler and living in Florida, he's got to get ready for school. So I'm gonna let you just rant about this for a moment before you head out. Matthew Tkachuk to the Panthers. In return, the Flames get Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar.
My rant follows this path. You do not trade a fan favorite in a small, fragile market like South Florida. Fine, Tkachuk's better than Huberdeau, but not by that much. And what happens when the Panthers trade for Tkachuk? It's a sign-in trade. They extend him. They could have extended Huberdeau. Calgary extended Huberdeau. Makes no sense. Look, Huberdeau means so much to the Panthers. He's their all-time games played leader. assists leader and points leader in franchise history, and you get rid of him. I mean, Kachuk's better, but not by that much. You know, you're a fragile market. You don't trade a player like Huberdeau. And then again, you're throwing in Mackenzie Weegar. Like,
and draft picks.
Yes, I don't get it. So, look, I mean, my rant ended. I could have gone on for much longer, but it's as simple as this. I'm not that upset because we got a better player, but I just don't see how he's that much better and how that little difference between his skill and Huberdeau's skill makes up for the fact that Huberdeau is a GOAT and legend in South Florida, even though it's a small and fragile market. I know you guys agree. I don't even need to ask you. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Because we know Kachuk's better than Huberdeau, but again, it's not by that much. And if you're talking about what he brings to the team, I don't think it makes the Panthers that much better. It's concerning. It's concerning to me because they obviously didn't get Clyde Guerrero back, and they're losing out on Anthony DeClaire because of his injury. You still have Barkov, but
I mean, Barkov, he can't do it all by himself.
Yeah. Look, the Panthers, I don't know what they gained from this trade. Like, they lost people's hope in Bill Zito, who I thought was amazing. And you know what? The Panthers didn't necessarily lose the trade, but I don't see how they won the trade.
I think it's an even swap for both teams also.
But it's not even when you consider...
They're thinking we're going to stay younger, we're going to acquire a younger player. But as you're saying,
admit, if you're
fine. There was no need
if
to
you're a Panther, if you're a Panther fan, it's not an even trade. It's an even trade for an outsider. For a Panther fan, you love Huberdeau. It's not even.
Right.
But yes, I agree. If I'm like taking away my Panthers love, it's even. But the fact that it is even is a problem, right? Like, yeah. If you're not going to win a trade, don't trade away a fan favorite. That's rule number 1. I think I'll end it there. Thanks so much for inviting me on, Grant. And then
no problem, Isaac. Have a fantastic night. Thank you for coming on as always.
Both of you enjoy college. I hope I can see you, Sam, at Syracuse.
Yeah, I appreciate seeing you one more time.
And you guys.
I was glad I got to see you in person earlier this summer too.
Yes, Grant's next up. I don't know. Come down for the Patriots Dolphins game.
That's right. But yeah,
my college is about 15 minutes away from Gillette, so you want to come down for Patriots Dolphins? Let me know. I'll keep you posted. Keep both of you posted. You want to come down? New York's not that far.
True. Maybe if I come home for a weekend, you never know. Yeah.
Sam's not coming back once he sees that, everyone in his class, they love the same things as he does, right? Sports broadcasting.
Right.
He's
I'm the same way. Hey, man, once I found out my roommate makes NHL YouTube videos, I'm a happy camper.
Awesome. All right, man. I'm going to head out. I have school tomorrow. I appreciate it. Nice talking to you guys as always. Make sure to subscribe to both of these guys. They put out good content. And I hope you guys can still find ways to put out content even during college. I know classes may be hard and so on. Yeah. Plus, I mean, you guys will actually be doing broadcasting in school, but it's always good to post on YouTube and stay, consistent with that.
Well, appreciate it as always, Isaac. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely school year.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep in touch, so don't worry about that. All right, Sam. Thanks for coming on also.
Of course.
And, wonderful time having you on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and have a great time at Dean, man. Right down the road from my house. So if you have any questions about the great town of Franklin, just ring me up and shoot me a text.
I will, dude, and make sure to hang out during winter break for sure. Yeah, because obviously you're coming back from winter break, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be home. Yeah, Thanksgiving, winter break. So I'll be home. And I gotta say, so my friend from my high school, he's actually going to be at he's going to the University of Buffalo.
Oh, nice.
Which is like 2 hours from Syracuse. And he, just like myself, obviously, is a big Bruins fan. And the Bruins play at the Sabres on a Saturday night in November. So he got tickets for the both of us. So I'm going to take the train to Buffalo. And
that's wicked cool.
Spend the weekend there. And yeah, watch the Bruins Sabres. Unfortunately, Patriots at Bills is during winter break, so I can't go to Buffalo freshman year to see Patriots at Bills. But hopefully next year, I can make that work. But that would be fun. So.
Yeah, Patriots Bills. I will say I've never been to a Sabres game, but I have gone up to Buffalo once. If you can, try to go near Niagara Falls because it's beautiful scenery over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Sam. Thanks as always for coming on. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on and your patience with me coming on a little bit late.
Don't worry about that.
I went to the gym later than I
Don't worry about that. We're only covering a 27-3 preseason game here.
How is there only 1 minute gone in the fourth quarter?
That's what I'm saying. I keep on looking up. I'm like, why is there 13 and a half minutes left? I think it's because a couple of injury timeouts.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. But, yeah, best of luck in Syracuse, my friend.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Fletcher Sports Zone subs. Well, we haven't seen the last of Sam. He's definitely coming back on. Our schedules are obviously going to be crammed, but don't worry. We'll definitely have Sam back on. We'll definitely have Isaac back on, and for sure. And I might be able to meet a lot of people with craft sports entertainment. So I'll keep you posted.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be at a great program too. Dean has been on the up the last few years for sure. So I'm sure you'll get many opportunities, especially with Patriots right down the road. It's going to be convenient for yourself. Yeah.
So don't worry, I'll hook you up with the insiders.
Yeah, I appreciate
it.
Hey,
man, any type of marketing works, I guess. Not marketing, but
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about connections.
It's all about connections. Exactly. Exactly.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, man.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks so much for having me on, Grant. I'm glad we got to talk one more time before I head off. I wish I had 2 more weeks like yourself and so many of my friends.
Bro. If we had 2 more weeks, I would have been like, yo, you're coming over. We're going to broadcast a Red Sox game together. But
the summer just flew by. It
really did, dude.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you, though. Good things are ahead, and I know you're a hard worker. And, like I said, Syracuse, tough school to get into, and you're going to really be right up there with some of the most hungry individuals over there. So
I appreciate that. Right back at you, man. So
I
know you'll do big things for sure. And I'm
appreciate it.
I'm excited for you for sure. So all right, well, have a great night, Grant, and we'll definitely stay in touch for sure. And winter break, we'll try to make it happen. I'll try to.
All right, sounds good, brother. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night and enjoy the rest of this blowout if you can.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. I'm about to play I'm about to do something to entertain the audience.
There you go.
I'm about to go on some website. I don't know. Do something to cover the last 11 and a half minutes. But
there you go. All right. Well, I'll see you, Grant. Have a great rest of your summer, a few weeks, and we'll stay in touch.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Samuel Reese from Samuel Reese Sports, man. What a bunch of fantastic guests we had on tonight. Again, I can't preach enough. Sam Prince coming on during the first half. He was wonderful, gave us a lot of insight on the Giants and, how he likes the Giants and whatnot. And then Isaac and Sam, how about that? The old crew getting together one last time from the All Sports Talk Show. Isaac giving his take on the NFL, the Dolphins. Sam giving his takes on the Patriots. And, we talked a lot about the NFC West. That division is loaded. Again, we all had the Raiders finishing in last, but for me personally, I have the Raiders in fourth, Broncos in third, Chargers second, Chiefs first. But the AFC West is going to be extremely, extremely exciting to watch. And again, make sure you go check out both Sam's and Isaac. Instagram links are in the description. If you want to have them on your YouTube channel, we got busy schedules, but we're all nice people. like me and Sam were just talking about a minute ago. Build connections. Don't be afraid to reach out to me, either of the Sams, Isaac. Don't be afraid, especially if you're an aspiring sports broadcaster. The least you can do is, I'm going to be honest with you, I've reached out to a lot of athletes and whatnot to interview here on YouTube. I'll be honest, the worst thing that happens is that they never read the message. Always ask. At least that's the advice I was taught. 1st and 10 for the Bears now with 9.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Well, now it's going by relatively quick. Okay. But yeah, 27-3. So basically when Sam and Isaac came on, Jason Myers kicked, I think it was a 37-yard field goal, which made it 24-3 for the Bears. Got it, made it 27-3. Ooh, Nathan Peterman throwing a dime. That's 11 yards and a first down to Isaiah Coulter. Yeah, Coulter's had a very nice night trying to probably get a practice squad spot. And he's done very well, especially since Semien came in the game. He really started to turn it on. Cole Kmet, second-year tight end out of Notre Dame. He looked really solid as well when Fields was in. And then, of course, once the Bears benched their starters, Semien and Darrington Evans were running the show, and they were producing pretty good numbers. Here's the inside handoff up the middle and a gain of a yard before he's brought down by 2 Seahawks. I haven't seen Ebner in a little bit. I wonder if he's still in the game. So as I was mentioning about Geno Smith's stats earlier and about Trevor Semien, Nathan Peterman, and listing off some of the stats the Bears had against the Chiefs last week, let's look back at some matchup history against the Chicago Bears and Seattle Seahawks, shall we? Again, I practiced I was researching for about an hour creating this, and I'll actually show it to you. Creating this Google Docs filled with lovely information. But anyway, that was one of the things I learned at broadcasting camp last week. Research ahead of time. That was something I felt like I didn't do. Whenever a game was a blowout, like in this case, 27-3, I felt like, I always ran out of stuff to talk about, and, I'd be looking down at my phone and doing all that. You don't want to do all that. What you want to do is just try to talk about, no matter how great or bad the game is, you at least want to have some info about what you're watching. Down to the 6-yard line. Nice run there by Demontre Tuggle. Yeah, I think Tuggle's been the running back for most of the fourth quarter here. But let's take a look at some matchup history. We're going to begin all the way to the Seahawks and Bears' first matchup back in 1976, back at the old Kingdome before it was demolished in 2000. December 5th, 1976, Seahawks expansion year. It was a terrible one, and the Bears laid waste to Seattle 34-7. Now, the Bears are actually in the red zone, so I'm going to focus here and resume that when the Seahawks get the ball. In motion is the tight end. Handoff goes. Tuggle trying to push his way in. He's at the 1, and no LeGarrette Blount pushing the pile moment here. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1, and say what you want about Nathan Peterman in his professional NFL career. We have a 5th-round pick out of Pitt. Back in 2017 from Buffalo, he really struggled mightily. His touchdown-interception ratio in his regular season career, 3 touchdowns to 12 picks. But I'll tell you one thing, man. He played well and sparingly with the Raiders, and he's playing nice in the preseason. Incomplete there as he tried to find Neebsta Webster. Webster's been playing in all 4 quarters this game, which is nice to see at the preseason. Moving on, we fast forward 30 years, I guess, in the matchup history between the Bears and the Seahawks. Rex Grossman threw 282 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And 2nd-year kicker Robbie Gould made a 49-yard game-winning kick in overtime, winning 27-24 over the Seahawks. That was the 2006 NFC Divisional round. Here's Peterman Oh, nice shoulder fade and incomplete in and out of the hands of number 82 there. That is Coulter. And it'll be fourth and goal rather, coming up here for the Bears. And I would imagine they would go for it because obviously in a blowout game and in a preseason game, you might as well get as many shots as you can on offense. But of course the Bears, so that 47-yard field goal by Robbie Gould in overtime was good. The Bears would go on to defeat the Saints at home in the NFC Championship game before falling to the Colts in Super Bowl 41. Here we go. Fourth and goal. Inside handoff, and Tuggle is stuffed. So a goal line stand for Seattle. You might end up losing the game, but you want to know what? Confidence boosters. When you rewatch film, you're going to look at that. You're going to look at that red zone drive for the Bears. You're going to say, and if you're Seattle's coaching staff, you're going to say, you want to know what? This is why I want to keep this player on the team. Tremendous run stopping by Seattle. It's the only positive thing that's happened to them tonight. 27-3 still the score. 5:41 remaining. Yeah, the Bears just ate up about 6 minutes of game clock on that drive alone, which is good. I mean, 27-3 preseason game. You know Chicago's winning. I predicted Chicago to win. I knew without Drew Lock, Seattle's offense was going to struggle mightily. Moving on in the matchup history for the Seahawks and Bears here. 2012-13 season, week 13. Rookie quarterback Russell Wilson threw for 293 yards and 2 touchdowns. Seahawks defeated the Bears 27-23 in overtime, and despite the loss, Bears wide receiver Brandon Marshall had 165 yards. And, of course, last but not least, last season, week 16, would end up being Russell Wilson's last home game as a Seahawk. Nick Foles started his one and only game with the Bears last year, threw for a touchdown, 250 yards, and a 98.5 passer rating in the snow. He also converted a 2-point conversion in the final minute. The Seahawks lost that game 25-24 to the Bears. And now, of course, Nick Foles back up on the Indianapolis Colts. To Matt Ryan reuniting with Frank Reich over there. Of course, Frank Reich was the Eagles' offensive coordinator when Foles won the Super Bowl with them in Super Bowl 52. I guess while we're here, we will talk a little bit about Derwin James re-signing with the Chargers. So this happened, I think, yesterday morning. Yep. This happened yesterday morning. It was a 4-year, $76.4 million contract with $42 million guaranteed. Now league's highest paid safety. I know he has his injury concerns, but that injury concern, that was back in like 2018 and 2019. This guy's been healthy since last year, and I really hope he's going to do well and prove that he is worthy of that contract. 5:41 to go. The Seahawks get the ball after a goal line stand, so the Bears turn it over on downs. Really the only bad thing that's happened today. And here's former Colt Jacob Easton, steps back in his own end zone, throws it to the tight end, and that's going to be about a gain of 4 or 5. Saw a little bit of Colby Parkinson here, the second-year tight end. I think that was Cade Brewer on the most recent reception. Here is play fake. Easton from his end zone. Oh, no! He has to throw it out of bounds, and that should be intentional grounding. Play action, and right in his face almost immediately. That was the strong safety, John Alexander. Let's take a look here on the replay. Yep, came off the safety blitz. Tight ends, too busy blocking. Easton drilled. And a good throwaway by him, though. who in my opinion has performed just as good as Geno Smith tonight. So I think Drew Lock becoming the starting QB for the Seahawks is still a possibility. I thought there wasn't a chance after tonight. Well, I think there still is. Dixon fires, and that's a gain of about 13, 14 yards. On the reception there, number 86, that is Kevin Cassis, and of course Eason, who may have to play in some last-minute drills with the Seahawks. That one's out of bounds. The intended man was for number 81, Bo Melton. But of course, for Eason, I mean, you don't know if Drew Lock's going to test positive for COVID again. You don't know if Geno Smith's going to get injured, and Eason's going to have to really buckle up and be a backup quarterback for this team. You know, even if you don't have a chance in coming back in the last 428 here, you still want to gain as much yardage, just build up a better performance, gain some morale, score a touchdown, and really just show you're hungry to keep a roster spot on this team. And if needed, you're a reliable backup quarterback. You have faith in the coaches, although I don't know how you have faith in the coaches there. That was almost easy reads. Jumping right in front of the pass and knocking it away was Bo Peep Keys, and it's 3rd and 10 now for the Bears defense, at least. Yeah, wow. I was expecting this game to be a little bit closer, though. I knew without Drew Lock, this game wasn't going to be as entertaining as expected, but definitely wasn't expecting a 27-3 game. Here's Eason, fires in and out of the hands. That's been the name of the game for the Seahawks tonight. Drop after drop after drop. Aaron Fuller, the second-year receiver, dropped that one. We have a flag. It's a holding against the Seahawks, and obviously the Bears will decline and look at the ball back. Another Michael Dixon punt coming up. As for Aaron Fuller, played his first career game Week 18 against the Cardinals last season, according to Pro Football Reference. And here comes Dixon with the punt, 4:19 to go. I would imagine the Bears are just going to try to pick up a couple of first downs, get to the 2-minute warning, and then take a knees and get the heck out of Dodge. It's only 8:00. Muff punt. Muff punt. And the Seahawks have the ball. Well, never mind. I guess I'm announcer jinxing the Bears now. I said they would run a couple plays and take a couple of knees and end this game. Never mind. On the fumble recovery. There you go. You see, that's how you build up a spark if you're Seattle. That's how you gain a little bit of confidence. It is Lakeem Williams, the linebacker, recovering the fumble as it bounced off the hands of number 83 there, Daz Newsome, who was a fifth-string receiver last year. He is battling for a roster spot, and obviously that's not going to make his chances any better, although I do think that muff punt in a 27-3 ball game isn't the end of the world. Approaching the 3-hour mark of this broadcast. Seahawks offense hanging to their 14th drive tonight. They've only had multiple first downs twice. This is caught at the 39-yard line by by Cade Brewer. Yeah, I think that was his. He had a catch on the previous Seahawks drive also before the muff punt. Here's Eason shotgun. Eason guns it over to the left and a low throw and incomplete, looking for Fuller. And it'll be 3rd down and 6 coming up. Hypothetically, if the Seahawks were to come back and win this game, they would need a touchdown, kick the extra point, recover an onside kick, get a touchdown. At that point, it'd have to be the 2-minute warning. Recover another onside kick, kick a field goal or score a touchdown, get another onside kick, and you get the story. And then try to tie it or win it with that. Of course, in preseason, you don't have any overtimes, but it's nice to see not a lot of ties, which is why you'll see a lot of coaches, get risky and go for 2-point conversions with like 5 seconds left in a preseason game because they know they can't play for overtime. And it is, at the end of the day, just an exhibition game. I mean, why are we risking the chance for injuries, revealing more plays in our offense, wearing out our defensive players? I agree. Eason, play fake, nice catch, first down to the 33. That one there, Bo Melton, who's kind of like Newsome for the Browns, and we've seen tonight for the Seahawks. Tyler Mabry just been playing in all quarters. Eason trying to throw on the run. He will run, and he steps out of bounds after a gain of 3. 3:05 to go, fourth quarter. Eason was brought in last season in the middle of November. The Seahawks released former Jaguar quarterback Jake Luton. And then when the Colts released Jacob Eason, obviously it makes sense because Eason went to Washington State University. Pick him up. And back home he is. This one's caught the 28-yard line by Johnson. Eason's last year with the Washington Huskies, he threw for 23 touchdowns in 2019. In his NFL career, passing in the regular season, he's 2 for 5 for 25 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. That was week 2 of this past season against the Rams. And the Seahawks pick up their second first down of the drive and all the way down to the 17-yard line. Nice catch there. I thought I saw a 16. I was like, Tyler Lockett's playing right now? He is, of course, not. That's Kissis getting his second catch of the drive. Eason 12 for 23 for 100 yards on the dot. Eason fires, and you can tack on another 11 to that stat sheet. That's Johnson on the catch. And Johnson, I got to say, he did muff the punt, which led to the Bears defense or special teams touchdown, which made it 17-3, or rather 17-0. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think the Seahawks had a chance of winning this game after that. As here's a handoff down to the 1, it looks like. Oh no, let's say touchdown. It looked like he was down at the 1 though. Run is in. Darwin Thompson from 8 yards out. So the former Kansas City Chief will score. Yeah, I don't think that's a touchdown, but it is the preseason, so whatever. Although you'd hate to see the officials make a call like that in a regular season game. I'd be like, you got to review that. They are just outside the 2-minute warning with 2:05 left, so technically speaking, they could challenge it, the Bears, but obviously, why would you? Darwin Thompson, the former Kansas City Chief, he is battling for a roster spot. I don't know how he makes it on with Valor, the fullback, and already having Penny, Kenneth Walker, Travis Homer, and DJ Dallas on the roster. But hey, maybe a practice squad guy. Eason guns it wide open. Johnson on the 2-point conversion. 27-11. And onside kick. They make it 2-possession game. There's something to cheer for here if you're a Seahawks fan that stayed through this beatdown. Johnson getting wide open in the back of the end zone. Like I was saying, besides that muff punt, he really has done a phenomenal job. And maybe that's why the coaching staff's keeping him out there, is to have him redeem himself. He certainly has. Again, I don't know really what the Seahawks wide receiver core is looking like right now. I mean, right now I'm looking at the top 4 we're going to primarily see in the game. Obviously, Lockett and Metcalf are locks, no pun intended. But you sign Marquise Goodwin. You trade for J.J. Arcega. Well, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside's a tight end. You sign Marquise Goodwin. And you've already developed guys like Freddie Swain, Penny Hart, Aaron Fuller, and Dwayne Estridge. One or two of these receivers are going to have to go. You can't just cram everybody on the practice squad. Believe me, I think a lot of coaches wish they could have 90-team practice squads. You want to know how many NFL players would have a job if there was more than like 8 or 10 practice squad spots open? Of course, if that punt never happened, would have been just a one-possession game. Onside kick. Oh, no way! And the Seahawks get the onside kick. Bubba Bolden, the strong safety, comes away with it. Myers, good one. Oh, it bounced off a bear and recovered at the 43. Well, if you tuned out of this game, you may want to hop back in it because the Seahawks have just recovered the onside kick. If they score a touchdown and make a 2-point conversion, that's right, they got 20 on the board, meaning one possession game. I'm not saying they're coming back, but this would be literally the most insane comeback in preseason history. The craziest preseason comeback I saw was when in 2019, I think it was, or 2020, I think it was 2019, the Giants came back like 28-9 over the Patriots with like a few minutes left, and that's going to be a flag. The deep shot didn't work, but there is a flag on the play, and I think it's going to be on Keys as he held the receiver. Oh my goodness. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to put the Seahawks right in field goal range. Now, granted, a field goal also makes it, well, it makes it a more manageable two-possession game. And yeah, Keys called for the pass interference there down the left sidelines. Yeah, a field goal would obviously be fine if there was 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Definitely not with 2. It is touchdown or bust. Yeah, it was Aaron Fuller, the intended receiver. He chucked it way out of bounds, but Keys called for the pass interference anyway. 2-minute warning, 27-11. Seahawks have the ball. Boy, I'm telling you one thing. Could you imagine Seahawks score, get the 2-point conversion, recover another onside kick, score, and get the game-winning 2-point conversion? Obviously, doubt it. There's like the one chance that would happen in every 500 games played. Could you imagine that like the craziest comeback in like Seahawks history was in a preseason game? It's not like, oh, the Seahawks have been sticking around. No, it has been, the Bears have been dominating for 56 minutes. Darwin Thompson scores a touchdown, and all of a sudden it's gone haywire. My goodness, take a look at the rest of the NFL preseason schedule. That is something I've wanted to review this broadcast that I haven't already. Let's take a look at the rest of the schedule for this week. So I know tomorrow is Patriots and Panthers. Yep, at 7 o'clock. Saints, Packers at 8. And Texans, Rams at 10. So it looks like Patriots, Panthers, and Texans, Rams will be the NFL Network games. Then on Saturday, 1 o'clock, Broncos, Bills on NFL Network. You also have the Lions and the Colts. 4 o'clock, Commanders and Chiefs. Saturday, my beloved Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Buccaneers and Tennessee Titans. Vikings, 49ers, Dolphins, Raiders, and last game on at 10 o'clock, Cowboys and Chargers. There's 3 preseason games on Sunday. Eagles and Browns at 1 o'clock in NFL Network. Our buddy Sam will be at the Giants-Bengals game on Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on NFL Network. And it looks like Ravens-Cardinals, 8 o'clock. That'll be a nationally televised game. That's the Trace McSorley revenge game. Oh my God. Trace McSorley revenge game on Sunday Night Football. How about it? And then Falcons-Jets, 8 o'clock Monday. Maybe I'll be able to commentate Falcons-Jets, but the fact that at that point I'm literally moving into college in a week and a half, I doubt I'll be doing, I still think I'll be making a couple of videos a week up until I move in. It's just the commentary videos, especially for the NFL. I don't know. Eason, end zone shot. Oh, had it and lost it. That's one way to redeem yourself if you're Bo Peep Keys, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and the newly acquired tight end from the Eagles. He had it and dropped it. And I hate to say he had and dropped it because Eagle fans have heard that quite a lot. And I know Keys had his hand on it for a brief moment, but that was still full possession for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, though. That was bad. He should have caught that. I have no shame in saying he should have caught that. And now, looked like since he fell on his back, he was having a hard time walking off the field. He does. Bo Peep Keys, 3 pass breakups, 5 tackles. Easton's been slinging it. I mean, again, third-string quarterback, he has nothing to lose. He knows if Drew Lock or Geno Smith get COVID in the regular season or a quarterback goes down, I don't want a free agent to be signed. I want to be that guy. This was a man who flat out said with confidence, I don't want to start for the Indianapolis Colts after Phillip Rivers retired. Of course, it didn't happen. They were going to trade for Carson Wentz, but I'll give Easton credit for wanting to put himself in the fire. Again, he's only thrown 5 career professional passes, not including preseason games. But he is slinging it, and he dishes it over there to the left-hand side, a gain of 6. So 3rd and 4 coming up here. Ball placed at the 24-yard line. Easton takes the snap in shotgun. Steps back, dumps it over to the running back. Nice juke, and he's brought down at the 17-yard line. With the catch, Thompson. Looked like the Bear player made the tackle. Yeah, I was about to say, he was holding his leg, and he's still down. That's Jalen Jones, a man who has played since kickoff. He's another man who's played all 4 quarters and fighting for a spot on this roster. We'll take a look at the quarterback comparison. I know Jacob Easton threw 27 passes compared to Geno Smith's 18, but was the better quarterback? It was Jacob Eason. Obviously, you're not going to start Jacob Eason because he doesn't have the veteran experience, but I'm sorry to say, 2 preseason games, and both times Geno Smith looked like the worst. Easton didn't play Saturday against Pittsburgh, meaning that both preseason games Seahawks have now played, they have both only used 2 quarterbacks. And again, I hate to say it, but Smith's been the worst in each of the 2 games, and I am very curious what the outcome would have been if Drew Lock played in the first half of this game. I don't know if Seahawks would have per se won the game, but I definitely think they would have gotten more yardage in the first quarter and pretty much up until the first half. Thought they were going to bring Smith out for the second half, but he did have his left ankle covered, so they didn't. Eason throw. Oh, what a catch! Touchdown! A little scary moment there. It's Aaron Fuller. Man, Fuller got hit really hard on that one. He made the catch. He jumped up over the corner, made the grab, and then his head bounced off the ground. Oh, boy, that was scary. Yeah, as he got clipped while falling down by number 17 there, John Alexander. Yeah, he fell on his shoulder, but able to keep possession was Fuller. What a grab, and he's back out there. Here's your ball game. 2-point conversions coming. If so, you get 19. Meaning if you get this and you get an onside kick, you have a chance to tie the game. Now, I know they're going to say I think they're going to review it and see if Fuller dropped this or not. But we've let a lot of questionable touchdowns count in the preseason. I don't see why this one wouldn't. I mean, it definitely makes sense. The ball is loose, and right there, the ball touches the ground. Now the ruling on the field. Yep, now they will review it. Now, but like Darwin Thompson's touchdown didn't really look like a touchdown. There was a Kansas City touchdown. Not Kansas City, Chicago touchdown. I was kind of questioning also. So I couldn't really tell what the deal was there. Oh, not realize my phone volume was on. Anyway, the touchdown will not count. I think you have some fans in the crowd that are getting upset with the officials. I kind of get it, though. I mean, in the preseason, you always let a lot of controversial stuff slide in the preseason. Like, why not that touchdown to Aaron Fuller? Not to mention, Fuller literally almost hurt his shoulder after catching the pass. Oh, my God. Well, anyway, delayed penalty. That's the 13th penalty for 92 yards. Bears have only committed 3 for 38. Yep, 13 penalties. Can't be doing that walking in the regular season. That's 100% right there. In shotgun, Eason. Standing back at the 27. Ball placed at the 22. Eason fires, caught. Nice jukes. Down to the 8-yard line. And falling down there was... let's see who that was. That was Cassis again. Number 86. Seahawks go no huddle, trying to save all 3 of their timeouts in case they recover the onside kick again. Here's Eason. Under a minute to go, regulation. Or rather, in the game, because there is no overtime, as I previously mentioned. That pass incomplete. Looking for Aaron Fuller. I would still love to see Fuller and the drive to the touchdown. Like I said, he made his NFL debut in Week 18 last year, playing special team duty. And though that play didn't count and technically did drop it at the end, that was still showing fantastic athleticism by Fuller. He does have the inside looking out, at least, when it comes to potentially grabbing a practice squad spot. Nice catch there off a regular outside curl route. That is a catch by Bull Melton down to around the 4-yard line. He gets out of bounds with 51 seconds left. Yes, ball placed at the 4. Seahawks probably got a shot here. If they can punch it in the end zone before the 45-second mark, that'd be wonderful. Easton 4 for 7 this drive for 31 yards. In shotgun, Thompson to the left-hand side of Easton. Takes the snap, steps back. Fires incomplete. Tries to hit tight end down the middle. That was Tyler Mabry, incomplete. We got 2nd and goal coming up. Well, also, if you don't get it for 4th and goal, it's probably over. All right. So, second and goal, Melton, 4 catches on 18 yards on 10 targets. Probably would like to catch like 6 or 7 of those passes on 10 targets. Low snap. Eason, under duress, chucks it up in the back. Incomplete. We can make that 11. 11 targets now for Melton. And here it is, 4th and goal. Touchdown. It's worthwhile. Turnover on downs. Nathan Peterman can walk out, take a knee. And go along my evening. I can't believe this game almost lasted 3.5 hours. Yeah, I don't know why the first couple of minutes of this fourth quarter was going by so slow, but the rest of it went by relatively quickly. Put in motion. Here we go, 4th and goal. That was Johnson put in motion. Easton, lob up, back of the end zone, overthrow him. Yep, there it is. And any chance of a miraculous tie ends in good faith. The intended receiver was Fuller. He's trying to get him off the fade. Shut down coverage right there by Kays. Other than the pass interference penalty, he had a fantastic night. Eason threw more passing yards than Gino. He also threw the ball way more. 3 for 11 in the red zone. And again, I do think Eason will make a roster spot. But the question is he the third string? Is he the practice squad guy? Only time will tell. Peterman takes the knee, and that will be our final. 27-11. The Bears go to 2-0 in the preseason. The Seahawks drop to 0-2. Again, I could only imagine that this game would have played out much differently if Drew Lock did not test positive for COVID and he played the entire second half. We don't see Jacob Eason at all. It's Lock first half, Smith the second half. Again, I'm not saying Seattle would win, but I am saying this game would have been much more enjoyable to watch. And Seattle's burning timeouts, but I don't really understand why. Here's the handoff. That's going to be a gain of about 2. Timeout Seattle. Oh, they really the end of the Patriots-Giants game last week, Bill Belichick could have done this exact same thing in a one-possession game and pretty much gave his offense about 40 seconds left to work with. Instead, Belichick just let the entire clock go down before Graham Gano kicked the field goal as time expired. And now we're going to get another handoff here on 3rd and 6. Handoff up the middle. Gets a yard. Seattle will call timeout. Okay, so we'll get to see more Jacob Eason, I guess. That'd be funny if they just kneel the ball. That would be the ultimate troll. That would be that I would actually laugh if punt Seahawks just take a knee and end the game. All right, yeah, punting unit coming on. So, oh, yeah, we get to see the rookie punter one more time. Trent Gill. This be his 8th punt tonight. He's had 4 inside the 20, longest being 61 yards. I know the Bills rookie punter, Isaiah, I know he had an 82-yard punt against the Colts last Saturday. I didn't expect him to punt that long, but see how long it is. This is a nice punt. It's going to land at the 46. And, staying on his feet? Nope. 12 seconds left. DJ Dallas trying to get a little bit too fancy. There's the fans depart here from Seattle. So, yes, the Bears will start off the preseason 2-0. The Seahawks 0-2. Defense played great in the first half, played terrible in the second half. The offense played mediocre in the first half, slightly better in the second half, but I mean, how much was that because the Bears were up by such a huge cushion, and how much is that Jacob Eason and third stringers playing against other third stringers? It's a delayed draw, and Darwin Thompson getting 11 yards, putting this one in the books. 27-11 your final. Nothing changes. The Bears victorious over the Seahawks, kicking off week 2 of the preseason. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Again, make sure you go check out Sam Prince, Sam Reese, and Isaac Edelman. Their Instagrams are in the link below. They were very special guests. And, this is likely the last football broadcast before I go off to college again. Not the last video, but NFL broadcast most likely. Unless I do Falcons-Jets next on Monday, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really don't see that happening. So, in case, hey, if I do, what a pleasant surprise. If I don't, well, I want to make sure that, I've had a bunch of my good buddies come on the broadcast. And, it was awesome having Sam Prince on for the first time. And, I mean, like I said, if you're a long-time subscriber, you probably have at least seen me talk to Isaac and Sam before. Awesome individuals. And, Sam's going off to Syracuse University on Tuesday. Lucky him. And then me, I'll be moving into Dean College on September 2nd. So, again, we got about a couple weeks left. But, alas, it'll be here before you know it. So, I'm just trying to stream as much as I can before my schedule gets absolutely compact with classes, courses, and true broadcasting experiences. But I hope you guys at least enjoyed this video. I am Grant Fluff from Fletcher Sports Zone saying enjoy the rest of your evening. My plans for next week, again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to commentate a game, but I do plan on getting the Hall of Famer, Hall of Good Linebackers edition out relatively soon. So stay tuned for that. Again, I don't think that'll be until sometime next week. But until next time, I'm Grant Fluff from Fletcher Sports Zone saying enjoy the rest of your